of this tournament. We're done with the preview and the pre-show, so let's head over once again to the Trinity Series downstairs with Admirable, who is going to introduce the first two teams for our first match.
Combat begins in the Trinity Arena. Our first team to be introduced. They've had a hard-fought battle thus far, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of them. It's Mr. Yagut, Crane, and Super JJ, Team CompLexity. Yeah. Good luck, gentlemen. And the next team, boasting an incredible feat of finishes last year. All three of them in the Winter Championship and the runner-up at the World Championships as well. With over 10 million cents earning lifetime, it's Bunny Hopper, Naaman, Dr. Hippie, Virtus.Pro. First match is getting underway. Let's go over to TJ and Frodan to bring us the match.
Thanks very much. That's Admiral. That's right. My name's TJ, joined by Frodan, and it's about time to see who's going to make it to the grand finals. Hey, Dan.
Hey, TJ. That's right. I was wondering if you're going to solo cast from this point on, but really glad. Nice freeze frame. Very 90s.
I've been practicing.
I realized I accidentally took the coffee mug with me to the desk. It's supposed to be back on the Trinity Tonight set.
Well, now you have to hold it the entire time.
So I
you
was
cast.
just like, well, I might as well just enjoy the moment while you're freeze framing. Apologies, this is not supposed to be here. And Admirable, of course, will have to enjoy the set without the coffee mug. Let's go ahead and get to business here. We have CompLexity versus Virtus.Pro. The bans are in. We have seen an adaptation of weird strategies, primarily of banning Jade Druid so that it can open up Reno Mage to kill Pirate Warrior. It hasn't really worked out for some teams, but it seems like these guys are coming into an agreement. No Rogue, no Warrior, and I gotta agree here. I think it's not a wise pick.
Yeah, the bans are the same, but we are seeing another Paladin exclusion today from Virtus.Pro. They're going to be playing the Hunter as their sort of sixth class in their lineup.
Ooh,
so,
interesting.
We didn't even get to see it yesterday, I don't believe. We saw it from Luminosity, but it was in the last match of the day, and we didn't even get to see the Hunter come out because the series ended too quickly. So might get to see some Rexar today. It is a possibility, but let's take a look at the lineup for CompLexity. Super JJ, Mr. Yagut, and Crane 333. Of course, now if you guys maybe just be tuning in to the Trinity Series for the first time, first off, welcome. It's the grand finals.
Yes,
it's the final day. You're a little late, but these guys, these are the decks that they'll be piloting. But of course, it is all about that team play. So the player in the middle, even though they're piloting the deck, of course, it's all about that collaboration, that teamwork that we've come to know and love across the Trinity Series.
Yeah, you know, as we're going to look at Virtus.Pro's classes, I actually apologize on my wording. I said it was not a wise pick to ban the Rogue and the War. I meant that it was not a wise pick to ban the Druid strategy.
Yes.
For Team Liquid. But at the same time, you know, I think Virtus.Pro may have slightly been influenced by some of these other radical ideas, like bringing Hunter. You know, bringing Hunter is certainly one of those interesting spots because it does actually have a couple of okay matchups. In fact, favored matchups in the metagame. It's just that against the most popular decks, it's not very good and solid. So you have to find a pocket. You know, is it waiting it out early on so that way you don't really play it in the first 5-6 games and then try to have it in the second half of the series? Or are you trying to snipe a win, maybe even cheesing in the first round? We'll see. And it is!
Whoa!
It's a complete bamboozle attempt. Virtus.Pro starts Hunter, which is so unexpected, and CompLexity, I don't know if they're expecting something like this. I certainly didn't anticipate it until I thought about it seconds before we saw the game.
Yeah, now one thing, we've talked about CompLexity throughout the season, and they've been a team that have been pretty, they've had solid communication is one thing, but they have been predictable. They usually pick the same counter classes. They open with Paladin more times than not. They're very predictable, and Virtus.Pro sort of read them like a book here and said, well, if they're going to open Paladin, then let's try and sneak a win with this Hunter early on, and catch him off guard a little bit. The bamboozle, like you said.
It's bamboozle indeed. I mean, this is a matchup on paper that mid-range Hunter should be able to deal with very effectively. The Death Rattle minions are hard for Paladin to clear. They have to combo a lot of cards in order to efficiently remove cards like High Main, Infested Wolf. They need a True Server champ. They're even playing N'Zoth the Corruptor. Although I'm not sure if they necessarily need N'Zoth. High Main presents a lot more better pressure as time goes on. A little unfortunate they have to choose both here. Would love to be able to have both, but realistically, I think Savannah High Main will get a lot more work done than N'Zoth itself, unless they feel like they can get a second High Main and Barnes will hit something else really good.
Yeah, this is actually unfortunate because both of those cards are not crucial to the win condition, but definitely help. We saw this matchup, I think, twice throughout the regular season, and at both times, N'Zoth bringing back a Savannah High Main was
game-winning.
Game-winning, yeah. And now you only have one Savannah High Main to work with, or no N'Zoth, and so that's going to be N'Zoth going away. So we're not going to have a chance to see that.
Now, I know a lot of people who might be new to Hearthstone. They've only been playing for, since Whispers of the Old Gods, for example. I've seen a lot of players post that in the past year since rotation. One of the things about tracking is that it might look like it's a bad card in some of these early phases of the game, which it can be, it's debatable, but you feel like, oh man, I'm losing N'Zoth, I'm losing Quickshot. These are valuable cards in the deck. But at the same time, assuming those cards, let's say those cards were put at the bottom of the deck. Say tracking said, put the two cards you don't choose at the bottom of your deck. If you don't draw to the bottom, it won't matter anyways.
Yeah.
So, I think in the end, getting the High Main in your hand guaranteed is still a good thing for Virtus.Pro, even though it might seem like, wow, that tracking sucked.
Yeah. At the end of the day, Savannah High Main is still going to be one of the main win conditions. But we do have the Twitch chat polls again today, so if you see one of those polls pop up on the left side of your screen, let us know in chat. How does Hunter play this matchup? Do they play for value? Or it's all about the Smork? Type it in chat.
Right. Smork, of course, for anybody watching over VODs, means that we go for the aggression. We try to hit the face and reduce their life total a lot. And I think a lot of people got the right idea. You don't really want to give time for Hunter to, you don't want to give time for the Paladin to assemble all their Murlocs. You want to pressure them. And so it does involve Smork and going to the face and trying to kill them off as soon as possible. A second tracking, which actually fits the mana pretty well. And I think what really matters to Virtus.Pro is how they're going to play their turns following the Barnes Houndmaster Savannah High Main combination. In fact, the second High Main would probably be on their highest priority list.
Yeah. Now they don't really have to worry about making a tough choice between N'Zoth and High Main because N'Zoth is gone.
The question, I think, becomes the order. Do you actually play King's Elix so you can increase your chances of drawing a higher cost minion? Or do you play tracking first? So it's an interesting sequence that they chose, and it doesn't look like it would have any impact, but it could have.
Yeah, so taking a look at these options, Animal Companion, Kill Command, Quick Shot. Now, we talked a lot about High Main and N'Zoth, but also Quick Shot was in the first round of tracking options. So if they choose something besides Quick Shot here, they don't have any more Quick Shots left in their deck. So that might be weighing into the decision a little bit here.
Yeah.
Animal Companion, probably high on the priority list, but they do lack liver removal, so there might be a nod to that, but they do go with the Animal Companion.
Yeah, not really much expectation. They get a little bit of information from their opponent's deck as well. They say, okay, at least they don't have a War Leader in hand. They love to see information. If they lose a Joust, they want to see information like Finja, for example. Is Finja in the deck versus in the hand? And this is one of the powerful things about Hunter and why it can be considered a good matchup is because Hunter has Deadly Shot. It has some of these ways to actually interact with Finja compared to other classes which usually don't.
Yeah. So CompLexity has the option to go for a 3-mana Solemn Vigil here to really just draw a bunch of cards, but Doomsayer looks to be high on their priority list. If they Doomsayer this turn and sweep up 2 minions, or potentially 3, depending if Virtus.Pro plays anything, which they probably shouldn't do a Doomsayer.
Right.
They'll be able to Solemn Vigil next turn anyway. But let's listen to CompLexity and hear the options they're weighing for this turn.
Drop or a deadly shot into 1-drop, which kind of punishes us, but
yeah.
It's also a kill command gun then.
We saw a 1-drop from the Joust, and they also had time to play it last.
Yeah,
so it's just very unlikely they have a 1-drop. They need to literally uptick it.
I can see it.
Not that it changes so much, but it's just very unlikely that this will
mean, the kill command is not even good, like, and the deadly shot.
6, then we go, yeah, with Houndmaster on 7. Have to find something for turn 9. Or for turn 8.
I would go Halford.
Okay, watch and learn.
Okay,
Easy.
easy.
So Animal Companion was better than Kill Command?
I mean, like, it turned out to be Halford, so yeah.
Jesus.
So we only have goodies from the Barnes, right?
We have a lot of
I
good
think
ones.
we should bounce.
Yeah.
You can think about the Peacekeeper as well.
I don't like it. He will Houndmaster, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the bounce as well.
Yeah. Yeah, time to high roll them back. Tyrion.
A tale of terrible tragedy. Let the pain speak to me.
Keeping kill command. Is Barnes or Houndmaster? I like Houndmaster kind of. Wait. Yeah, Houndmaster is better since we can trade with. No. Yeah, we Houndmaster the 3-2. We go face and we trade with Halfer. Actually, Barnes isn't that bad as well.
I think Barnes is better.
Yeah, but we need. Oh, yeah. Since we're. If they Elder Savannah, we can Houndmaster Savannah after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tonight, a tale of glorious redemption.
Alrightish. We'll trade with Halfer and go face with 3-2.
It ready Cypher for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you go face.
I mean, what is display bad against?
Yeah,
Like, the
go
kick and
just go
cure
face.
and consecration, yeah, but like, it's wait.
I guess.
Well, sort of a I don't know their decks. I don't know if that's a below average Barnes pull for Virtus.Pro. I mean, it is resilient and it will. No, it won't be brought back by Nuzlocke because they don't have it. But average, I say, is pretty good assessment.
Yeah, I would say that you know, you can count it as the Rat Pack plus the Death Rattle in terms of total stats.
Yeah,
too. That's decent. I mean, Barnes has a lot of good Death Rattles to hit, but we know one Highmane's in the hand. We know N'Zoth's not available, and one Houndmaster. So it eliminates a couple of the 1/1 possibilities that just fall flat. And then we know that things like Fiery Bat exist, so it's also on the low end spectrum. There's a lot of things that they could have whiffed on.
I do want to point out that Virtus.Pro just ripped Animal Companion with a Doomsayer on board.
Yeah, that was ballsy.
Yeah, it's a 1-3 to kill the Doomsayer, and basically the other two options, they just get swept up and don't do anything. I guess Leah would allow them to push one more damage, but
oh boy. CompLexity recognizes that Finja played on curve is one of the highest win rates, if not the highest win rate in Hearthstone. But against Hunter, which happens to have a tool against it, and the best part for Virtus.Pro is that they actually can follow up. Sometimes when you deadly shot Finja, you actually just hero powering, and then you have no board. Virtus.Pro has 7 damage to follow that up. That's massive.
Yeah, no, they don't have any other plays to make besides Deadly Shot. It is just hero power, but Deadly Shot on the Finja is massive, so it doesn't really matter in the long run.
They overkill, so that way they can protect their board in case a big sweep comes in. I like it. Every single sticking Death Rattle matters. Let's go ahead and tune in and see how CompLexity will adapt to the situation.
We could Pyro, Conk, and double Solemn Vigil. It works, right?
Oh, what? Only 2 of them die.
Oh, no, only 2 of them die, right? Yeah.
Hey, that's worth counting then.
Yeah.
I think we should choose Silver the 3-4 and maybe Bluegill the 3-1. We can also go power if you like.
And then keep the Elder for Highmane.
I mean, the other option is to go Elder Bluegill, but I don't like that actually. I think we should choose Silver.
I like the true Silver as well.
And probably Bluegill, right?
Yeah, probably Bluegill as well.
Yeah.
We make the Solemns a bit weaker, so.
I mean, what do you want else do?
Yeah, just choose Silver Hero Power maybe.
Nah, we take 3 more damage. We can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, still on them.
And only summons one.
What about getting both Aldors down?
Let me think.
Both?
Yeah, both. And then probably next turn we just clear and double solemn.
Yeah, I think this is a Peacekeeper turn. I guess we.
And also tempo Aldo, or what?
Okay.
I mean, we can also play tempo Pyro, man.
No, I
I
think we
really want
that.
to keep the Pyro for equality.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, double Aldo. I agree.
Follow the rule.
Yeah.
Follow the rule.
I can totally see that play.
Wow. Whoa. Just when you thought one high main was a problem, after CompLexity used double Aldor to get back tempo. Now, Virtus.Pro did set this up, to be honest. To be fair, you know, they said we're going to hold off on Houndmaster because when they Aldor the high main, what makes it devastating is Houndmaster backs it up. Now they have double Houndmaster available to them. It does make their following turn with Call the Wild even more threatening because Rat Pack has so many small minions left over that Call the Wild with Leok being guaranteed of a summon. That could be just game ending.
Yeah, now if CompLexity does have probably the best hand for dealing with those wide boards. They have Wild Pyromancer, Consecration, and Equality, plus Solemn Vigil, so what they can do is like clear with Equality Consecration, and then use Wild Pyromancer plus Solemn Vigil to clean up some small stuff. Like even double Solemn Vigil would clean up the 2/2s that come out from the Savannah High main. So Virtus.Pro can load up the board here. It'll probably get removed. But then they have reload, so that's the thing for them, and CompLexity will probably be left with an empty board. And I really like. Oh, I thought they were gonna go both phase. I would have said I really like both phase here, just because it hedges around the equality clear, because they wouldn't be able to do much with it. But killing one Eldar Peacekeeper makes it so that if it was just equality consecration, they'd have a little bit of a better board. But let's go and listen into CompLexity now. This can be a complicated turn. Let's see how they want to handle it.
Let me think.
If we Pyro equality, we can play like Murloc War Leader or something. Or maybe even, yeah, just a 3-drop basically.
I mean, if we Pyro Conk, we force him to deal with the Pyromancer basically. Like he can't hit face with the Hoffer, right? That's a big deal maybe. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
We trade like this, right?
This always trades, yeah. Attack the high main. Yeah. No. Whoa.
It's fine, it's fine.
It's fine, yeah.
I think it's fine to give up the 3-1 to draw.
Yeah, okay.
Do it again.
Yeah.
What else did you want to do?
No, it's fine, it's okay. So I will Call of the Wild here.
Yeah, he just wanted to hero pass so we could quality.
No, it's okay, sure.
Alright, I found a way to play around board clear now, but it's too late.
How was it?
It was if you buff the 3/3, then you trade the 3/3, and then after you trade the 3/3, you buff a 1/1.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. True. Yeah, that was the best play.
That plays around board clear.
Yeah, but right now we are still finish because they need to play equality and consecration on this board.
They only Finja and Bluegill?
Yeah, only Finja and Bluegill.
Yeah. But like, anyways, but then that pushes less damage to face.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just think if they board clear, they can play nothing. And we have Calls the Wild on empty board.
Yeah, but you can't play around it. I think also do it and play the
Like, what else do? We have to clear the spot.
Yeah. And play the War Leader.
we die, then okay, some 3-card combo.
All right, well, Virtus.Pro definitely evaluating how they would have replayed that turn if they need to play around board clear, but I think they have a good point. You know, how much time do you want to give the Anyfin Paladin? More damage to face could end up being the value here, and you know what, you mentioned something, TJ. You said you would have liked to attack the face with the High Mane. If that got that 3 extra damage instead, the Animal Companion plus Tundra Rhino here would be a guaranteed lethal.
Yeah, wait, 3 plus 2? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
They would have guaranteed 7 damage, you're right. So it might have made the board clears easier, and CompLexity might have been able to do a different turn. But in the end, yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I like this, though. I mean, Tundra Rhino doesn't see that much play, but when it gets rolling, it gets insane. You start pressuring with the fact that any beast that you play from hand can get charge. And now CompLexity is stuck in a remove, heal, or taunt up turn, and each of them has their weaknesses.
Yeah.
Because you know Deadly Shot still exists in the deck, because they certainly play 2 Deadly Shots to snipe the Finches.
Yeah, if they just play Tyrion, if Virtus.Pro has any strong beast in their hand, it's likely that they just die. They can play Tyrion and like heal up for 4, but that feels really weak. And if they just use Forbidden Healing to heal to 27, then they're not really getting anywhere on the board. They're just sort of stalling for time and giving Virtus.Pro a free turn of development. And now they don't have any board clears left. So Virtus.Pro can continue to just build up as big of a board as they want to. And the only thing that they have to worry about would be anything can happen. But even then, it's only 1 Bluegill, 1 War Leader, and a Finja that have died so far.
Certainly. So not much with the Anyfin right now. They play Tyrion. It gets out a weapon, but that weapon is not even necessarily threatening your opponent. And if you use it for removal, you're just lowering your own health.
They play Tyrion. I think they're dead.
Okay, looks like they're just going to try to heal up as much as they can, concede board control, and use anything to charge back. But is it going to be that simple? Virtus.Pro has double beasts here. Misha's pretty big deal.
Misha's actually big because it's not the most damage. I actually think Leok would be the most damage on this board. But it prevents you know, easier trades from CompLexity should they play anything. Anything now brings back 2 Bluegills, a War Leader, and a Finja, so it still can't really clear.
Yeah, the second High Mane, which, you know, if Virtus.Pro hadn't Azoth or High Mane in this position, it'd be lights out for CompLexity. But in this position, they're forced to play the second Anyfin. They should be able to remove the Misha. Only 1 War Leader exists, though. Okay, so they're hoping that Hunter has not a single point of damage, but they've got plenty. Call of the Wild #2.
And they're all charging.
Yeah, they're all charging, every single one of them. They actually can go for some elaborate BM here if they want.
They're actually trying to think if they want to hide the second Call of the Wild.
Oh, you're right. That's a good point.
Now
really good point.
It may not be a big deal in the grand scheme of things because in this type of deck, you're probably playing 2, but a lot of Hunters, well, the few that there are, a lot of the few have cut 1 Call of the Wild because it is clunkier now that it's 9 mana.
But I mean, they're playing, you know, and I say this kind of tongue-in-cheek, but they're kind of playing a control-style Hunter, essentially. They stall till having Call of the Wild and Zoth, and they really focus on making sure that their board, I guess it's still mid-range in the sense, but it curves out all the way to 10 with 2 9-drops. Is that really a mid-range at this point?
No, not really.
It's very slow.
But I mean, all you can expect from a Hunter really is 1 win. And they got that 1 win.
Job well done?
Job well done, yeah. It's if they could take multiple wins, then they are going to have a hard time losing the series, I feel. But Hunter does have a lot of weaknesses, and we'll see if CompLexity, what deck they're going to choose to try and capitalize on those weaknesses. Take a look at their lineup. Still a ton of options for them. I mean, just pick your poison. Most of these decks can go toe-to-toe with Hunter.
Yeah, I do want to point out 2 things. One, a lot of teams see Paladin as just a toss-away class, as if they're playing with 5 classes in this series. If Paladin gets a win, great. If not, not a big deal. So I don't think CompLexity is that worried about losing it. That's why a lot of teams during the regular season led with Paladin, because at best, you're getting a win, maybe a couple, but at worst, you're losing with something you anticipate losing with anyways. The second, we saw Hunter versus Paladin, TJ. I haven't seen something like that in what feels like forever. But, you know, these are the 2 weakest classes going head-to-head. And that's kind of what the beauty of the format is, being able to see classes have unusual, powerful spots, because Hunter does have a couple good matchups. It's just that they're really bad against so much of the top-tier decks.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to see that. It's I think it's a more interesting matchup than a lot in Hearthstone, because there's a fine balance for the Paladin, and the Hunter is not tech specifically to beat Paladin, but decks similar to Paladin. Control decks that need a lot of time, that don't really have ways to deal with huge late game boards. Hunter is always going to get in that damage and going to get those big minions out before the Paladin can reach any even turn. So CompLexity is going to choose Shaman. Traditionally, one of the best decks against Hunter. It's one of the reasons why Hunter fell out so much, is because they didn't really get too many early game tools, and Shaman has a ton. They can take control of the board very fast and not let go.
It was part of the problem was that Shaman was better at early game than Hunter was. And that was one of the only things that Hunter had over the Shaman, because they would get early minions onto the board, and then Shaman would eventually win back the board, but their health was too low. So that was what Hunter used to do. Of course, they were playing a faster variant, and then Shaman was playing mid-range. But then the Pirates came out, especially with Spirit Claws coming out to making sure the Hunter can't win the board. It became part of a problem. I actually haven't seen too much of this matchup since the 7.1 patch, which has nerfed Small-Time Buccaneer and the Spirit Claws, but I have to imagine that Shaman's still in a very good spot, considering how Death Rattle heavy Virtus.Pro is, and how Hex interacts with that when you have N'Zoth in your deck.
Hex, one of the best ways, combined with Polymorph, to be the best card against Savannah Highmane. And Virtus.Pro, you can tell that their Hunter deck is a little bit greedier, on the greedier side, which is sort of how you want to build it, because you are playing it to beat the slow decks. Ragnaros the Fire Lord, another choice, along with N'Zoth, Highmane's Double Call the Wild.
Yeah, it is interesting, because with things like Ragnaros, that means that Hex can't hit everything. It can't hit the Highmanes and the Ragnaros. So one thing will stick, but the question becomes of how much board dominance will Virtus.Pro have. CompLexity doesn't have a lot of proactive stuff. They only have reactive things right now. Look at that. They're coining Maelstrom Portal to try to win back the board. Yeah, let's go ahead and listen in as these teams are fighting to the nail for that early game board.
Well, Redback's so sweet with Houndmaster. They already used one portal.
They may have a second one, I think.
Yeah, that's why they played that, right?
Yeah.
So if they want to companions, then Talnos is not bad, but they might also go Redback.
I don't like the claws. I would like to have the Thorn Gold.
But we have to think about the overload, right?
Yeah.
You can also totem, we run double thing from below. I mean, it's very sketchy to totem. I think Falnos might be the best, but I'm not sure. If we play Falnos, we can next turn go Jade Claws Lightning Bolt.
Yeah.
Yep.
Problem is, like, if he doesn't develop something meaningful.
But we should expect him to play the companion. The only bad outcome here is offer and trade, right? If he. But I think that's.
And never a Jade Claws, yeah.
So bad for the companion.
I don't like Jade Claws.
Sure about this. Yeah, Hoffer would suck, yeah.
You need to chill a bit more.
No.
Like,
No.
why would you do that? Like, do you not show them that you don't have any
Because
other?
we were thinking about our hero.
Yeah.
All
yeah.
their hero.
That's true.
And they have less time
Sometimes
to
you just
think.
need to play it faster.
Talnos isn't very good.
We can trade with Talnos.
But, like, next turn, then we wanna... Like, if they play Feral Spirits, we definitely go Houndmaster. But, like, if they don't go Ferals, then we like, just wanna play Barnes, maybe? I mean, if they play Mana Tide, we also play Houndmaster.
Yeah. If they need, we need to kill something, we're gonna play Houndmaster.
When we play Bards, when the
If
hero
we don't
power,
have to kill... If they hero power, or we don't have to kill something. Like, if they just have a really weak turn.
Yeah, but I think still think that we can go with Houndmaster. Like if they hex it.
Like, for example, if they go...
That's fine.
What if they go Jade Claws now?
They go
Still Houndmaster, right?
Yeah, definitely gonna Houndmaster.
and trade with Talnos.
Yeah. Oh, why will they hex already? Alright, that's Barnes for sure. So they have to hex in their hands.
Maybe.
Tonight,
Savannah.
Sandorano.
Why did you say Rhino? Savannah is
Because
much better.
bottom is yellow. It's
No,
not
okay.
green.
Now we're trade, right?
You have to trade, I think.
Yeah, you trade.
They can also just trade for you. I mean, Hex was pretty awkward for us, actually.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, Tundra Rhino pulled from Barnes. Not the best outcome, but at least it means that they can trade on the board. But a Hex on a Rat Pack. Now, they were kind of confused at first. They said, oh, that's probably not good for them because now we have a high main. Naaman made the read that there's a second Hex, but there's not. CompLexity, I think, just wanted to, like they said, make that turn awkward for Virtus.Pro, and it really did. Luckily, they had a 4-drop, but it cut off Houndmaster completely the previous turn.
Yeah, so I feel like this game has been defined by how suboptimal all these turns are. You know, CompLexity had to use Hex on a Rat Pack primarily because they used Maelstrom Portal on a Fiery Bat, which killed their own 1-drop. So everything has been defined by just how unoptimal, or sorry, basically how bad every outcome has been for both sides. You know, in the sense that Virtus.Pro didn't have a 2-drop, which is so curve dependent for Hunter. They have no Houndmaster value. CompLexity used a very high value card for a low impact scenario because they used 2 mana and their coin to kill a 1-drop. So it feels like neither side is really coming ahead right now.
Yeah, this could be a big turn for CompLexity, though. They have Flameton Totem that could trade into Houndmaster, plus like a Totem Up Tunnel Trog. It's crazy to think that despite how weird their turns have seemed up until this point, they still have that board initiative. And probably will continue to have it. Yeah. Now, Savannah Hyman's still going to be tough to deal with now that they've already used the Hex. But Shaman can build up a bunch of little guys on the board. And
yeah, Flametongue Totem is just been one of the most powerful MVP cards of just Shaman in general, primarily because of how efficient it is. Yes, Hex has been used, but now CompLexity can actually remove this high main, or maybe they feel like they want to go a different route. They did pick up Thunderblood Valiant, which encourages them to hero power even more. Let's go ahead and listen in CompLexity, because this is a very important turn coming up on some of the power swing moments of this game.
This is where, like, hexing that guy was so good for us this game.
Huh?
Hexing that guy was so good for the game. I mean, obviously it's because they didn't see the 3-4, but it really worked out this game.
Traded so easy on board.
Yeah, but it gets traded, then we'll play Rack, then we'll play Call of the Wild. Like, playing King Level right now, I mean, just kill commanding the Flameton, not worth it. If they trade 3 of their resources into Savannah, I think it's kind of okay-ish.
Oh, no, they just trade the face, they trade the Trog, and they trade the Monotide. We get like nothing. And they
yeah,
still
but what do you suggest?
Just play King's Alec, kill command.
And they will face down King Alec. What next?
Like, if you play there, like, are you gonna kill command Monotide or Flametongue?
Flametongue always.
I mean, we can just outvalue them. If we get in Dota, we win. What do you think, Hippie?
I don't know, we'll play Savannah.
Oh no.
Next one as well. We just need to get quick shot. Yeah, quick shot is gonna be good. The next one we're probably gonna play Rack. They didn't have Hex.
Trade a Shock, play the Thunder Bluff.
Yeah, that's what I like as well. You can even trade the Manatide.
Yeah.
We should do that.
Yeah, I agree. They probably don't run Unleash.
No, we don't.
Like to okay.
Yeah. Has to be, right?
Yep.
I could see us trading the Manatide next turn. With this matchup. Probably, yeah, like that, right?
There is a lot at stake here.
I can also see it.
Yeah, we will not have problem with card draw.
Yeah.
Or something to play rather.
Yeah, it's more important that we actually have the proper flame tongue buffs.
Deadly shot and kill command and Alec.
Alec, kill command, deadly shot.
Yeah, but I mean you get two kind of cage targets and one bad one. You like Rack more, I think.
I don't.
You don't?
Yeah.
You like Alec?
Just win a 1 and 3 instead of a 1 and 5.
So kill command in the flame town and deadly shot.
Yeah.
See the skill. Easy.
Oh, they're still losing.
We need to get into it.
They play Rag now, we play our Rag, snipe their Rag, we win.
Lots of ult here.
I'll just play.
It's not easy.
I'll still play Drake and Thing.
I think I agree.
Drake and Thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I
Ragnarok's
agree
not good
as well.
against Call.
And then we most likely have Jade Lightning next turn.
Yeah.
Call is not a thing if we Drake and Thing. Like, oh.
And we keep drawing with the Mana Tide.
Wait. Just call now and just trade the 5/5.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Just farm him.
Oh, you just trade the 5-2. That's pretty good. Just pray for Nzoth.
Yeah, I can see that.
I like the Rag.
I like, yeah,
You also
I actually like it
you
as
also
well.
get a value trade right with the Drake, so
Mm.
save him. Like say they play another call, they would trade in the Drake. Now we just value trade it, have a lightning extra. I like it a lot.
Well, technically Rag did hit face. It was the only target.
Yeah,
but
that was
congratulations,
right all along.
Twitch chat.
Ooh, another tracking. I think they're going to fish hard for Nzoth. I think that's their only way to win this game. And even then, they have Lightning Storm.
Yikes.
Quick shot. So they got Rag. They need to snipe the other Rag, or this game is going to be over. Lights out.
Let's see, they got the deadly shot. Can they win another one?
So it's lower odds, only 25.
Ooh.
I mean, if you're not hitting Rag, that's the second best target. I do want to say the Manatide Totem drawing 4 or 5 cards this game has been also incredibly impactful. CompLexity without that would be drawing Lightning Storm this turn.
Yeah.
Or maybe the Azure Drake instead. Either way, right now CompLexity is in a dominant position, and now you can really start to see why exactly Shaman is considered to be very good against 100 these days.
Yeah. Just building up a big board, making Rag. It's not as
Rag goes
impactful.
face, then you're threatening lethal.
Yeah. And if it hits the Rag, you're threatening lethal the next turn.
Yeah, that was actually a good outcome for Virtus.Pro because they need as much time as possible. So they're going to quick shot because their only goal right now is to find Nzoth. And there it is. I think it's a little late.
Yeah, I think it's too late at this stage.
It's guaranteed lethal.
Yeah.
Just right, yeah. It was an interesting order. Yeah, I thought I was going to trade the minion, do that, but it makes sense.
Well, CompLexity throughout the greetings. Virtus.Pro throughout the I will hunt you down in both games so far. CompLexity finally reciprocating.
Too slow. But hey, Hunter got the job done, and it gives Virtus.Pro the series advantage. So as much as Rexar has been killed off, I gotta applaud Virtus.Pro for being able to start off with Hunter with a very important win and giving them the pick advantage.
Yeah. So now if they can find a good deck to counter Shaman and get a win with that and shut off the potential run from Shaman, then they can keep going 1 for 1. The Trinity Series, the shortest the series has been 10 games.
Yeah,
so
6-4 at the shortest.
Yeah.
But you know, one of the things I do want to say, another big reason why Virtus.Pro is in a big advantage is because they forced out one of the best decks. You know, mid-range J-Sham is certainly one of the top decks of the meta right now. You can put it along with, you know, Rogue and Warrior, of course, but if you eliminate both of those, what are some of the best versatile decks overall against the field? Shaman's one of them. Reno Warlock's another one of them. You know, J-Drew is one of them. So if you can eliminate these three, well, one of these three early on in the series, that means they can't use Shaman as a good counter pick against other classes, especially because they have Druid available. And mid-range Shaman, part of the reason you bring it is to keep Jade Druid in check. When you ban Warrior and Rogue, Jade Druid becomes one of the best decks along with Dragon Priest, and mid-range Shaman has a really good fighting chance against Druid. You eliminate one of your powerful counters. So forcing the Shaman out this quickly from Virtus.Pro, assuming they can kill it off, will be drastically in their favor for the series.
And what are they going to use to kill it off? That's the question. Or what are they going to use to attempt to kill it off? Probably Priest. So what we've been seeing the past few days. Reno Lock is another option. Reno Lock a lot of times saved for the Dragon Priest on the other side. But I do like the chances for Priest. I think they're debating exactly that right now. They're actually talking about the web of decisions. This is a big thing about last year's standing is what's the best deck to play now versus save, because you can play the hard counter, the best deck that you have at the moment, but you're exposing yourself to certain matchups. Right? It's like, so hypothetically, say they pick Priest, but then they force out Reno Warlock. Do they have a counter to that? They do with Jade Druid. And then what do they play into their Jade Druid? Well, they don't have Shaman anymore, so maybe it's more opportunity to go down this path. Versus, let's say we do a softer counter and play, you know, Reno Warlock, and then what happens to them? Do they play their Jade Druid? Are we prepared for that? Etc. Back and forth. This is what ends up happening with a lot of the player discussions, which is why we're not jumping straight into game. Taking a look at the class wins, you can see Virtus.Pro, they got a lot of mage wins, primarily because they got that big sweep with Tempo Mage that 1 week with Dr. Hippie. I think that was week 6 or 7. And, you know, seeing how some of the classes have differentiated between teams is interesting, but Virtus.Pro and CompLexity have very similar stats across the board. Yeah, now CompLexity is a little bit more evened out across the board. Keep in mind, coming into the Trinity Series Finals, CompLexity did have the lowest win percentage out of any team here, out of any team out of the top 4. So they're naturally going to have sort of less wins at that top end. Theirs more spread out. Virtus.Pro's sort of been more, you know, weighted on the high side of some of these classes. And Priest actually has had a lot of success for Virtus.Pro throughout the season. It's a deck that a lot of times sneaks under the radar as being one of the top tier decks. But there's a reason why players are starting to play it in tournament lineups, and there's a reason why more and more people are starting to, you know, even try and venture on the ladder despite all the Pyre Warriors that are there, because Dragon Priest can do well against a lot of the field, especially with Warrior and Rogue both out of the picture with the bans here in the Trinity Series.
All right, well, CompLexity, I mean, their pick is pretty straightforward. They had to just stick on Shaman, so the decision's all on Virtus.Pro. Now, keep in mind, the winner of this series is going to the grand finale up against Luminosity. Luminosity's winning in the winner's bracket, but there is no game advantage or series advantage for the winners. You know, think of it as 2 separate brackets that seeds a player to just one grand final. Similar to how, you know, in the past, you know, big tournaments have done it where it's just like 2 stages. You know, there's 2 separate brackets. The International comes to mind. So if you look at it, the disadvantage for the team that wins this is that, you know, they're going to be exhausted. They've been playing a lot. A lot of players say that they need breaks in between games because of just how long they've been sitting there talking. Headsets can get a little uncomfortable sometimes too if you wear it for too long. So it's just one of those things where, yeah, just have to really stay focused as long as you can, but it's not easy.
Yeah, the winner of this will get a 20-minute break between this game and the grand finals, which is enough time to talk about strategy for a few minutes, use the restroom, eat some food. That's it.
They'll have been effectively playing for 9 hours
at the end of this.
At the end of this, assuming it goes the distance in maximum. If it's a 6-1 from this point on, then maybe it's a fast one.
Yeah.
So ideally, you do want to get, if you do have a series that you sweep or you get a very one-sided match, this would be the one for either the team going into Luminosity's match. Luminosity's hoping that these guys drag it out and exhaust each other, because they're sleeping in. I don't think they're even here at the studio yet.
Yeah, they're
chilling.
They're taking their time, and I mean, I would hope they would be watching a little bit. You can get some deck information from these guys. Maybe if you didn't see every single card, from their decks the past couple days. You can try and get a few of the additional ones to really start playing around just about everything. Getting that full information is a big deal.
Yeah, well,
so I imagine there's somewhere taking notes, but in the meantime, game number 3.
Yeah, Dr. Hippie gonna take the pilot seat here as they're switching to Dragon Priest, something that you were calling, TJ, and a little bit to be expected considering how powerful Dragon Priest is against mid-range variants of Shaman. Mid-range Shaman is very dependent on strong board control with centering around Thunderblow Valiant. Not only does Priest have reliable AoE now with Dragonfire Potion, they had a lot of forms of Shadow Word Pain, either in that card or in the Bookworm, which answers Totem Golems, annoying totems like Manatide and Thunderblow Valiant.
Yeah. So a little bit of a weird turn here for Virtus.Pro. They have Twilight Whelp turn 1, but know what their dragon is. So they're going to go ahead and coin out Wormrest Agent. Maybe a little bit weak to Lightning Bolt, but that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, primarily the reason why mid-range Shaman was so good against Dragon Priest in the Karazhan meta was primarily because of Spirit Claws. Spirit Claws traded so well into everything. And then when the Pirates came out, it was just a blowout. You know, Small-Time Buccaneer could easily answer every single 1-mana drop that Priest had. And then combined with a simple weapon, with patches, it can answer any 2-drop, and then we were super far ahead. Now these days, Shaman has to fight a lot more honestly onto the board because of how they've taken away, but they still have Tunnel Trog, one of the best 1-mana minions in the game.
Yes, it is.
Oh, wow. Just a naked Flame Tongue, and if they're playing the Flame Tongue without trading, it's because they want to force their opponent to spend their turn playing Shadow Word Pain or healing. And even if they do heal, they don't actually have a very good heal target. So this is kind of like a, you know, Complexity forcing some board tension. I don't know if it's going to work out for them, though.
Yeah, now the decision is, what do you Shadow Word Pain? Do you Shadow Word Pain the Flame Tongue and isolate the Tunnel Trog and try and trade into it over a couple turns? Or do you take out the Tunnel Trog and try and leave that Flame Tongue to maybe keep your Wormrest Agent healthy? Let's go ahead and listen into Virtus.Pro and hear their thoughts.
Yeah. Flame Tongue is just a really big problem for Priest in general, right? It's just insane.
What are the other plays? Play double one? No, oh yeah, you can play
for sure. No, I think I would play in the Totem.
The Totem? Why the Totem?
Like we can kill the Totem.
I mean, we can also... I'm fine with both. There's plus for both. Maybe the Trog.
So what?
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I like Trog.
If you Ferros, we never kill the
Totem.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
That's a really big problem. Because it just basically solos us.
Oh, that's good.
They kept that?
If they play Whelp now, we can just trade Portal.
Really surprised they kept that card.
Yeah.
Right?
Good to keep.
Oh, you keep that. Not Temple.
Go right.
Yeah, Portal first.
Yeah,
right?
Portal.
Portal first, why?
It doesn't matter. Always nice to get first.
Portal first so you don't misclick, attack into a minion twice.
Yeah.
Excellent strategy. Nice sequencing.
Less room for error. I mean, we have seen some people straight up misclick in Hearthstone before. It happens pretty rarely. And, you know, once in a while when that happens, people bust out the mechanics jokes and the APM stuff. But it rarely happens, so I don't think it's bad technical play at all. Twilight Guardian is a harder dragon to get value off of, so you know, the early stages are really impactful because most Shaman things have a sweet spot around 3 health. In this case, you know, Complexity has to choose: do I deal with the Drake or do we play our own Drake and try to develop proactively and just let them have a turn where they can pick off stuff. I think Holy Nova is too threatening in this position.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, I'd probably want to prioritize removing.
But still getting on board pretty quickly for CompLexity, and they're able to wrestle control very early on. Thanks to the larger part due to the Feral Spirits. But they're not out of the woods yet. We have seen some AoE from Virtus.Pro, which can really set the Shaman back. Virtus.Pro is winning the value game as well, because, you know, they do have a slight card advantage if we call the board even.
This tempo swing from CompLexity that's available to them with Azure Drake Lightning Bolt is so big. Because, you know, we do mention that Dragon Priest, one of their most powerful cards in this matchup is Dragonfire Potion, but Azure Drake throws a wrench into that plan for many reasons. You know, one, of course, it's a dragon itself. It avoids AoE. The second is that it's a 4-attack minion. You know, and the third is that it's spell damage, which is very threatening for Shaman. So it's just, you know, all these reasons combined is why Azure Drake's been some of the most problematic cards for Priest historically. At least for a few more weeks, TJ. I seriously will miss Azure Drake a lot. I think people are really underestimating how much impact it's had to help, you know, Druids draw consistently, to help Shamans draw consistently.
What 5-mana cards do I play now?
Rogue draw consistently. Rogue losing Pillager and the Azure Drake and Conceal.
It's a big deal. Does open up more room for other 5-drops, though, which I'm excited about. Let's go and listen into Virtus.Pro. Starting to lose control of the board. Let's see if they want to get it back.
3-6, 4-6, but yeah, you just get rid of 2 damage from the board.
I'll play Bukor.
I mean, you can also play Cleric and double Cleric and heal their Taunt if you want to get the AoE. But I think, like, right now it's not that bad, like, the situation. And Bookworm we can heal at the next turn. Most likely it's gonna survive.
Alright, yeah.
I want to Hex Sweat and play Mana Tide.
Agree.
Yeah, I agree, totally.
Mana Tide on total right? On the right.
Yeah, we might trade.
And Hex, right?
Yeah, and trade.
Yeah, we kill the frog as well.
I like this weapon. You will Corruptor here, right?
Corruptor's fine for us.
Go for double Cleric and heal their 2-1. Yeah, need to find the AoE. Or we can go to Twilight Drake, Cleric and the Agent.
Twilight Drake, Cleric and Agent is probably better.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it better. Right?
Yeah.
Is someone injured?
Just not having board as Priest.
Yeah, and that sucks.
It does kind of suck. If you lose the board as Priest, unless you have Dragonfire Potion or a sick Holy Nova, you're probably not coming back.
Yeah, a Priest without board control is kind of like a Reno Warlock without Reno or Kazakis, you know. It's Freeze Mage without Ice Block. It's just paramount to the entire strategy of the deck. And when you see Priest get early board control, like you see Talon Priest land its early buff on either the Wormrest Agent or Northshire Cleric, it's beautiful, like an angel getting its wings. It's majestic. You just, oh man,
wow.
I can't. It's exactly what it is. It's beautiful board control for the Priest, but not the case for Virtus.Pro all game long. And I do want to say one of the MVP moves was playing the Flame Tongue and just not doing anything. It's caused Virtus.Pro to completely throw their plans out the window, and they had to Shadow Word Pain the Flame Tongue. And as a result, CompLexity is in a position to maybe just kill the Priest in a couple turns here, because they see that their opponent does not have AoE. And obviously you're not going to play around the mythical top deck if you have a chance to set up a 2-turn lethal. They've got a lot of power coming into this. Oh, they're not playing the thing from below.
Wow,
okay. I thought they were going to set up the lethal there, but...
I guess they don't want to give a Shadow or Death target.
Yeah, that could be it too. They're feeling like they're holding some cards. They said they played a weak board turn. You know, playing Warhammer Station and Northshire Cleric is not exactly the most threatening, so they have to be holding situational cards like Shadow Word Death.
Yeah, but now Virtus.Pro again needed a Holy Nova. Didn't get it.
They still can draw for it though. They can Northshire Cleric draw into a Holy Nova, but they would heal their opponent's minions, which is the problematic thing.
Yeah, now they could still
heal their actually. They can heal their own Drake. I was thinking to get a good clear, they'd need the Drake to attack into something. So I guess that's a catch-22.
Yeah, they'd still leave the Tunnel Trog plus the Mana Tide up, which the Mana Tide is surprisingly one of the most threatening cards on the board, considering that CompLexity is pretty much just looking for ways to end the game.
I don't really think Mana Tide's nearly as threatening as just potentially dying straight up, so I think this is fine. Just gonna try and take the pressure off the board. Yeah, Mana Tide's annoying, but if you have board control, your opponent won't be able to do anything if they have one extra card. Power Word Shield, they have to move really fast here.
Picked up a second Power Word Shield.
And they got it off. Looks like they got everything off. They may even play the Twilight Whelp. They have.
Maybe there's a chance after all.
2, 4, 6, 11 damage right now. And no way to draw into a lethal. So they're very close. If Virtus.Pro was not able to remove that extra power on the board, they'd be dead.
And you don't really want to go too all in on Priest sometimes because they can stabilize with the hero power plus some taunts. So if you try and go all face and you beat a Holy Nova plus a Twilight Guardian, they did draw a lot of cards. Well, not really. They drew a Power Word Shield into a Power Word Shield, and there's still one card that was in the hand. So they can still confidently say that the likelihood that they have cards that are going to punish them like AoE is a little bit less. They know that one of those cards is the situational. They can maybe pin it on Shadow Word Death. They're just going to continue to fight for the board. They know that, as we talked about, as long as you have the board, there's not really many ways you lose.
Yeah, but oh, actually, Virtus.Pro's on 9 mana. I was thinking by leaving by having all 3 health minions, they leave the possibility of Azure Drake, Holy Nova, but that's not going to be the case because they're at 9. But they're still safe. Still safe. Double Mana Tide. That is so powerful. 3 cards per turn? Overside hand lock. You got a new card draw deck in town. I mean, Mana Tide totems have been extremely valuable, if not the MVP card for the past 2 games. And if Priest isn't able to get this win here, Virtus.Pro might be reeling a little bit because this was supposed to be a counter for them. And all the advantage that they get from Hunter has been nullified if this doesn't work. Oh, okay, well, they're not dead, I believe. 2, yeah, even with Flame Tongue Totems and like a Jade Lightning top deck. 3, 7, 12, that'd be 12 damage.
What about Ragnaros? Nope, still not enough.
No, because they're overloaded by 1.
The thing is, they're going to get another turn of 2 draws.
It's true, and Dragonfire Potion is not going to be as impactful. If I'm CompLexity, do we put them on Dragonfire Potion to just slow down here? Maybe just trade a little bit of that board away and not play Totem Golem? Because you don't want to toss another card of value into it.
I mean, you are reloading it.
Yeah, I guess so. But if you throw Flame Tongue Totem into the mix, you are committing a decent amount to the board. I guess they haven't had AoE at this point. What's another card? Shouldn't be that biggest of deals. And you are refilling. You have 5 cards the next turn. Your opponent will have 2. Maybe even less if they play Minion onto the board.
Well, they are going to play it safe. I mean, this still pushes some damage. And the 2 more cards that we mentioned. So Virtus.Pro really needs to find something to fit alongside this. A Dragon pickup would be great. There's Twilight Guardian, so they can play Blackwing Technician on the back of this.
But Ragnaros has a chance of just ending the game straight up.
Yeah.
I mean, your opponent just used Shadow Word Death 2 turns ago. Feeling the rag to close this game out. And either outcome, I mean, obviously killing him was great, but either outcome is still fine. Killing the minion will be pretty much lethal anyways. That's a shot to the face. CompLexity has turned the tables with 2 straight wins, able to nullify the Hunter advantage that Virtus.Pro worked so hard for.
I do want to point out, Super JJ went for the high 5 with Mr. Yagut again after their mishap on day 1. Day 1, Super JJ went for the high 5 with Mr. Yagut and missed.
Yeah.
Today their teamwork is on point though, because that high 5 resonated. throughout the studio here.
Yeah, and you know, Virtus.Pro, you can see how the line would have played out if the Dragon Priest won. They would have forced out Arena Warlock, getting their Jade Druid advantage, and Jade Druid has a lot less decks to check them because mid-range Shaman has been eliminated. Not going to be the case. CompLexity now is up 2-1, and Virtus.Pro might have to bust out one of their decks a little bit too early. What if Arena Warlock comes out here at this point? Then their opponent can eliminate that, and Dragon Priest then from CompLexity dominates. You know, we do have to also wonder how things like Tempo Mage from Virtus.Pro ends up coming to the mix here, because Tempo Mage is one of those odd decks that can beat anything but also lose to anything. It's very flat against the field. It's like 43 to 47% if you look at the ladder data, which doesn't always reflect tournament results. But if it's not performing even well in the ladder setting, you do have to wonder how reliable it is in the tournament environment.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be good against the Shaman. Shaman and Priest are usually its weaker matchups. So I can expect to see something else here from Virtus.Pro, but it is a tough choice because it's about finding that balance, like you mentioned, between, well, what do I want to play a deck that I might need later on to counter a more important deck? But they're going to go with the Shaman Mirror matchup.
Okay.
So they feel like this is going to be their best chance at putting a stop to CompLexity Shaman is by playing their own. Yeah,
crucial game at this point. You know, if you feel like your best odds are winning what effectively is a mirror, even though one's Jade, one's mid-range Shaman, it still doesn't feel that reliable. You know, the early game is pretty volatile because of the way the opening hands with Totem Golem versus no opening can be, and also because Lightning Storm isn't guaranteed. Lightning Storm is one of the most powerful cards in mid-range Shaman mirrors. Timing it with the effective board swing of Thing from Below is massive. But the problem is, if you don't get the proper hits on Feral Spirits, on Totem Golems, on Tunnel Trogs, then Flame Tongue Totem completely dominates you. So you have to make sure that your timing and you know, a little bit of lucky.
Yeah. Now, Devolve can be really good in this matchup too. Even though, you know, Shaman has some of the best stat package cards in the game with Totem Golem and Flame Wreath Faceless, the deck also does have a lot of cards that specifically synergize with each other. So Devolve could be really good in that regard, but a Totem Golem picked up. They didn't pick up that Totem Golem, they would have been in some trouble. And now Virtus.Pro is overloaded going into their next turn. Oh! That's actually not as good. You want to be the one playing those, being on 1 and having that combination, then being on 2 and having that combination, because now if they play Tunnel Trog, it gets traded over for free, no matter how they trade, because they either trade into Tunnel Trog, just gets killed by the Totem Golem.
Well, primarily the fact that one of the big things about going second is the timing of the coin usage, and you use that early coin so you can gain board control. And essentially your opponent has tied with the fact that he gets a mana crystal before you. Virtus.Pro doesn't even choose to play this because they feel like it's just not worth.
Just dies. Yeah.
Oh,
that plays around the Maelstrom unintentionally, of course, but
man. Yeah, they can still play Tunnel Trog and Totem Golem in this spot, just because the power challenges. But that also means that you know, you don't get that Maelstrom value.
You're also overloaded, so next turn you can't play Jade Lightning to pick off.
Yes.
Whether or not it's Flame Wreath Faceless and you need to trade your Totem Golem into it, or one of the totems that we see from CompLexity's hand, Mana Tide or Flame Tongue. But it'll be tough. Let's see how CompLexity wants to handle this turn with either Flame Tongue or Mana Tide being their options.
I like Hero Power and Flame Tongue.
Why?
I like it because our follow-up is Drake, and it will be hard to use the Flame Tongue ever after this. Like, Mana Tide here sucks.
Yeah.
And if we hit a Taunt Totem, we might actually be able to protect it, right? I think it's always...
Like, what else do you do?
Oh, I agree. I think it's fine. That was the worst one, right?
Yeah, but I mean, you Flame Tongue and kill the Golem, right? And then we probably punch as well with the... If he doesn't have Overload here, he can't kill the Flame Tongue, right?
Yeah, it's only Feral Spirits.
Yeah, it has to be Flame Tongue. You don't want to bump it?
What?
You don't want to bump it?
I don't see the.
With Talnos, why don't you just play Mana Tilt and kill the spirit?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude.
Put it to the...
Isn't but there's no better play here.
I don't think so.
Just put it to the right, right?
Why to the right? I'm gonna put it to the left.
I like the way you...
You don't want to trade it. You want to trade Chalk over Mana Tilt.
Okay, yeah.
I'll put it here.
Okay.
I can't go Drake here now.
Much. I think we just want to play Mana Tide and Lightning Bolt at Shock and bump.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree. Then.
Now we have 2 priority targets.
That's very good.
Yeah, we didn't fall too far behind the Trog double golem opener.
They didn't fall too far behind.
No, but now this is an opportunity to devolve because all those... Actually, no, the Mana Tide's 3 mana, right? So you can get a little bit of a roadblock there.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking Devolve Maelstrom Portal should guarantee clear on most of the time.
Devolve might have better use later on, though, and coupled
true.
with a bigger AoE Lightning Storm, or if you can couple it with a spell-powered Maelstrom, which this turn they can't because they're only on 5 mana.
Well, they see a Flame Tongue now. Maybe they don't feel too much harm of using Jade Lightning in this position, and letting their opponent get some of that totem value. Because in the end, you're still drawing a card, so you're being able to protect your Mana Tide while still kind of building up the Jade, which is important. Because one of the advantages of playing Jade Shaman versus mid-range Shaman is that, assuming you control the board reasonably, you do win over time with like the big value Jades, because they can't deal with it efficiently. They only can hex so many mid to big size targets. And yeah, assuming they also use their Flame Tongues and whatnot. CompLexity, they've been setting up for this 5 mana play, but again, they can't deal with their opponent's Mana Tide totem efficiently, so it's pretty interesting. We haven't seen too many Shaman mirrors where both players are able to get a lot of value out their Mana Tides, both drawing 2 cards or more each. And that ends up setting up a scenario where both of them might have like the optimal amount of firepower. Who comes out ahead? It's interesting.
Yeah. Who's going to roll Spell Power next? Vote in chat. In the meantime, we're going to listen into Virtus.Pro and see what they're debating about.
Jade Claw's better?
That's what I mean.
Oh, yeah. Dude. I mean,
it's just super weak to Maelstrom Portal.
If they had Portal, they would have used it the previous turn, probably.
Yeah. Definitely would.
Yeah, I mean, like, we can refill the board with Drake and... Yeah, this one first.
Wait. Is it better to play Claws or is it better to play
you want
Flame
Mana
Tongue?
Tide to be on the board.
Yeah, but what about Flame Tongue?
Oh yeah, Flame Tongue, maybe. Yeah, Flame Tongue.
It's better.
Right, yeah.
Makes their AoE pretty bad. And then we can go Drake and Claws next turn if we want to.
I would Shock, Hero Power, Lightning Bolt, Jade Claws.
Okay. The other option is Shock, Jade Lightning.
How big is the Jade again? 2/2, right? Oh, 1/1.
You like the Jade Lightning more? Why?
Well, it costs a lot of mana. Get overload.
Oh, I like Jade Lightning as well because we don't get overload for 2.
Sure.
So... Drake, right? Try to find the portal the second. If not, we're gonna be using Jade Claws. There's gonna be 2/2 on the table left.
Maybe just trade first.
With Talons?
Yeah.
What's wrong with is devolving an option?
Devolving what, like only Trog?
I was thinking about playing Tunnel Trog, Hero Power, Devolve, and Jade Gloss.
Why do you want to run? Why do you want to play Devolve? We can kill everything except for T2. We can keep Devolve for 7/7 in case they play it. If
just because they can like clear or Drake.
I think attacking, yeah, just straight with talents first. Let's see what we get, and then just. You can go Trog, Jade, Jade Spirit. I think it's better. Yeah, I like it more. No reason to play Drake. Yeah.
That's why you draw first, TJ.
Yeah, that's some, really good sequencing by Virtus.Pro, deciding on that turn. And, Bunny Hopper, even though Devolve at first might seem like it's not a great option, a lot of times these players, when they have 3 people, they designate one player on the team to just try and think outside the box, come up with alternative lines, just to get them thinking.
Yeah, I think Devolve might seem like really low value there, but what Bunny Hopper's trying to say is it's clear that they don't have like some easy way to remove like Portal. So what we can end up doing is getting tempo on the board. Snowballing through things like Jinyu and Drake, and making sure that they can't ever really come back and leveraging that for a win. But I do like the idea of trading the Thanos, because even if they got Portal, they could clear anyways. Really good sequencing there from Virtus.Pro. CompLexity stuck with kind of a mediocre turn. Your opponent's best minions are still onto the board, and Tonetrog can get some high-value trades. Mamma mia! You have a Flame Tongue Totem now. Does that change any of the trades to make it really optimal? I think you can now use Jade Spirit to... you still want to use your weapon to clear off some of these small threats, though.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe not as good as I initially thought. But just when you get Flame Tongue Initiative with a bigger board, it's like really, really powerful.
The Thunderbolt Valiant's still a little bit annoying just because there's not too many clean ways to trade into it without giving up one of these minions, which all these minions here kind of upset to give up. But you do something like Flame Tongue Totem, trade in the Jade Spirit, and I wonder. Oh no, it's still, see, you need one extra 2 damage source in order to reach both the Searing Totem to protect your Trog and the Flame Tongue. Either way, you're going to be trading in one of these minions if you use Flame Tongue. They can also, another option would be to Azure Drake and try and find Maelstrom.
Yeah, there's just no good trades. I don't blame him for this.
Tournament Medic.
Tournament Medic is so bad. It's just, the stats are terrible for a 4-mana minion. And they get a full clear, and get to start hero powering. It looks like they're going to toss out another Jade Claws instead so they can start building up. I think that's a 4/4 now. Wow.
Starting to take control. Let's go ahead and listen into CompLexity. Double Hex the hand. Oof. It's going to be tough for them to find a way out.
We will not win this series through luck, guys. That's decided.
Yeah.
I think we play it. And trade is our face.
Why don't we just play Windju and clear board?
Windju and clear board.
Windju?
We can clear board with the... We can clear rack.
Jinyu.
We don't lose if we clear rack, we never lose, right? Because they're just out of options. We can trade the 3/2 and the phase into the 5/5, and then if we play Jinju, we buff the Trog, and then we bump the 2/4 attack minions into rag, and we never lose.
I think it's fine, yeah.
I like it.
I wonder.
Just like it that we don't have Hex.
Yeah, but like, I mean, in terms of value, what are they gonna do in terms of value now?
Yeah, they used the Thunder Bluff.
They used one Drake, they used the Thunder Bluff, they used Drag. They just like don't have late game left. Except for Aya. Sorry.
We have 2 draws for Hex. Yeah, I think Drake and Jet Lightning. If we get Hex, then we Hex it. If not, we Jet Lightning.
Why don't we just Chieftain? What's the problem with Chieftain?
What's the problem with playing Drake? If we get Hex, we can Hex Aya. If not,
I wanna Jade Lightning the 5/5 Jade. That's what I want to Jade.
But I wanna get Hex.
Do you care at this point?
I will play this one.
Why do you like shifting?
Because
like,
I want to just lightning the biggest Jade possible.
All right, yeah. I mean, we don't really need to hex anything else over here, but right?
Yeah, of course. It's only the 7/7 really. You're completely right, but we don't have hex in hand, and the problem of getting like,
okay, yeah,
I think this gives us like smaller chances of getting swept out. And if they AoE here, like the AoE doesn't actually do that much because it doesn't trade up.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything. Well, that one works, but we can get Kex to draw for that. Yeah, that's better. I think you Lightning Storm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Drake.
Definitely.
Play Drake first.
Do we
Why?
Drake first? No.
Why don't you just Lightning Storm and Jade Lightning?
Ah, okay, yeah. True, yeah. Just kill it with the face.
They play Charm and lol. You never know though. Which deck wins.
Yeah, just don't speak about it.
I mean, we every time should win with the priest. That's the thing.
Oh,
some pretty good top decks, man.
Yeah, both these decks are getting scrappy.
Yeah, but I do think that Virtus.Pro, they still have a couple of Jade cards, especially if they're playing Jade Spirits in their deck, which means they're being greedy, and they're not going to be light on the threats late game. Fun feeling like this is Virtus.Pro favored in CompLexity, unless they whip out a card that we're not expecting at this point. It's just going to get attrition down. I wonder if Virtus.Pro actually runs Bloodlust too, and if they do, would they play it? You know, at this point, CompLexity probably knows every single deck, but you never know. Not feeding that information might forget about it. 3 damage portal. Pretty nice. And you know, I wouldn't blame CompLexity for tapping out here. There's absolutely no chance we're gonna win.
And injured Kefaldir.
It's just icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a chance to clear the board. Except for the 6/6. Apologies. Didn't get the spell damage totem, which would have put them in contention to clear the board.
But they can maybe try and fight back. I don't know. They need a big storm here.
Yeah, getting 3 damage on all those 3 health minions. Oh, wow, they cleared both the Drakes. I mean, they're hanging in there, but it's still going to be tough. Jade Chieftain number 2 picked up. CompLexity fought valiantly, but I think that's going to be... How do they deal with it? They use both hexes. They've used things from below. And looks like they finally come up short. So Virtus.Pro ties it up.
A bold move to try and play the Shaman into the Shaman, and in order to hold on to some of their other decks for later on in the series. But it works out for them. They know that their Jade Shaman was, with Devolve, probably going to have an easier time taking back the board against the Shaman of CompLexity. But it was close. It came down to the wire at the end there. A couple key draws allowed them to take the match, take the game for this match.
Yeah, but the damage has been done by CompLexity's mid-range Shaman. They got 2 wins in a row, which means Virtus.Pro's advantage for playing Hunter. They got that first win against Paladin, but you know, Hunter, the advantage they got has been nullified because they were not able to convert off their Dragon Priest. From here, Virtus.Pro has the pick advantage, CompLexity has the pick advantage. We'll see how they capitalize onto it, because Jade Shaman is great, but it's not infallible, and some of the decks remaining are very good against that deck. Yeah. So we'll see on how it ends up playing out here, but it seems like it's appropriate. We don't want blowouts or sweeps in the finals here, and feels like it's been pretty good so far.
Final day, Dan, I want to go as long as possible. If we could turn all these into like best of 17s, I would. I'd break the rules. So it's sentimental.
Well, we do have some flights to catch.
Yeah,
the
that's true. That's
championship
true.
tonight in like 10 hours or so it can't go too long.
Maybe not too long. But while the players take a little bit of a breather, we have Admirable who's standing by with Luminosity to get their thoughts as they wait for the grand finals.
That's right, Trinity tonight here, and I'm joined by the boys from Luminosity Gaming, already in the grand finals at this point. How are you guys feeling today? You rested? Are you prepared?
No, I'm kind of sick. I didn't sleep that well.
Yeah, same.
Frozen, same?
Yeah. I'm prepared.
Frozen slept a lot.
Good job, Frozen. Carry us.
That's good. I mean, you guys were relying a lot on Frozen yesterday.
Yeah, Frozen's the best.
Heard you say it multiple times. Trust Frozen.
Yeah.
Trust Frozen. This Shaman mirror match that happened, this is something I want to talk about a little bit, because over the regular season and to now, we've seen Shaman go through quite an evolution, largely thanks to Small Time Buccaneer and Spirit Claws getting changed. Talk to me a little bit about the deck prior to that and now how we've seen multiple iterations with it.
Frozen.
I think the current list probably loses a lot on the aggro matchups because Small Time Buccaneer and
Ooh, look at that.
And patches are very good versus other aggro decks, and you can't really play it anymore in Shaman because you don't have enough weapons early game.
We saw you guys kind of adapt and go more the Thunderbluff Valiant route. What do you feel the benefit is over the Jade package with a deck like that?
It has a lot of advantages in certain matchups, like specifically yesterday in our game against Priest. I think we just beat Dragonfire Potion straight up because the Thunderbluff survives it. We placed it next to a Flame Tongue, so they need exactly second Shadow Word Death to remove it. And it's just something that, like, single-handedly, you don't need to develop onto the board anymore. You just keep toteming, and they have to AoE that one card.
Yeah, and Zalay, I know that you've even experimented with some aggro Shaman after the Rockbiter change happened.
Yeah.
You were still running some Doomhammers. Is aggro Shaman still a deck that is viable right now, or is it just completely out of contention with Nurse?
It's definitely still viable. Aggro Shaman's viable, but I do like the mid Shaman. I think Muzzy's done some good work coming up with this list that we're playing. And you can see it in our win rate. It's the highest for Shaman among players in this tournament.
You guys have done a fantastic job. And Muzzy, of course, a fourth teammate of you guys, such a fantastic player. I wish I could have seen some Muzzy come through in this event, but it's been a pleasure to watch. We've also seen Hunter played in this series, and the Hunter from Virtus.Pro looked very different from what you guys have bought. Any thoughts onto the N'Zoth build that runs the Death Rattles and sort of the higher curve in there?
It makes sense for the matchup they queued it into, right? It looks like they were trying to beat Paladin, and they did. So I like it, whereas we had Flare in our Hunter, so kind of a different goal there.
And Chalky, being a Hunter player yourself for quite a long time, sad to see the state that it's in, but what are the major differences between the more aggressive and the later game ones?
The late game one, it's like more consistent in certain matchups. Like Zalay said, it does better against Paladin and sort of like Reno decks. But I don't know, in our testing, the fast one was pretty good. We threw in some mid-rangey cards, and it was performing pretty well against what we wanted it to beat. So you have to bring Hunter. So we brought it. We had a specific strategy in mind, and we got to use it. It didn't succeed, but the rest of the match was fine.
And Frozen, if my understanding is correct, was it you who came up with the Hunter build that you guys are playing?
It's kind of a mix. Well, I came up with the strat for the Hunter, like what we were trying to do with it, and then me and Zalay built the deck.
How long did that process take? Was there any real testing involved in that one? Was that a previous deck you'd had, or was it kind of shoot from the hip and hope that the target connects?
Zalay played like 600 games of Hunter or something.
Yeah, it was good.
And so it's kind of like, you know, he found 600 ways to not win. and so
this is the only way
at that point we exhausted like everything. And we're just like, all right.
There's only one left at this point, and this is the final one.
Yeah. So we went with what he did not play on his way to Legend.
A fantastic choice, I'd say, given the previous month, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. I'm happy with our Hunter deck. It's not perfect, but it does its job.
Yep. And in this match, now it's tied 2-apiece. And I know that you guys have been talking all series long about the differences between each team winning and what that means for your lineup. Who would you want to see win at this point? Who would you rather face in the finals?
Definitely CompLexity.
Liquid. Yeah, I think we sort of want to play against CompLexity just on a deck by deck basis. They have a very similar lineup to ours, but I think we have like a slight edge. And then Virtus.Pro, they have like some X factors, like they have Tempo Mage and things like that. And like Mid Hunter, we don't know if they're going to play that against us. They didn't on day one, but they could now. So it's like we have a set in stone strategy against CompLexity that we know is going to be good, but against Virtus.Pro, we're going to have to do a lot of thinking. So
okay, and then prediction in the finals. Regardless of which team makes it, Zalay, what do you think the score is going to be?
6-4 is a good score for us.
I like that.
Jockey, what's your call? What do you think it's going to be, though? Not what do you want it to be. What do you think it's going to be?
6-2.
Frozen?
6-2.
Man, that's some bold calls.
I'm feeling
Were
high
you
rolling
guys
today.
betting on the other team there, or?
No, we're betting on us.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, just
wanted
making sure. Just making sure. All right, well, thank you guys very much, and good luck in your grand finals match. We're going to ship it back over to Dan and TJ to bring us game number 9.
And Luminosity seem pretty relaxed. They seem ready to go for the grand finals, which they'll have to play later on. That's their advantage for getting through the winners bracket and winning their match yesterday, is that they got to sleep in a little bit. They pretty much rocked up to the studio, and we ushered them onto the couch for an interview as the players got ready. So now they seem well rested and ready to face whoever's going to win.
Yep, that's right. So remember, the winner of this series goes to the grand finals and face Luminosity. The losers eliminated, and that'll be it. But they are at least guaranteed $15,000. A win here wins them 15 more. And then the championship, of course, is an extra 45. So one of the biggest prize pools in Hearthstone's young history. It is a team tournament, though, so they have to split up. Very unusual for a Hearthstone event, which is kind of what defines a lot of the game, the 1v1 interactions. Let's go to Freeze Mage versus Jade Shaman, a very crucial match again for CompLexity to get this win, because Freeze Mage, you know, we do mention that Mage in general is used as a counter pick a lot of the times. If it doesn't get the win here, then all of a sudden the driving Virtus.Pro would be in the driver's seat. So let's pay attention very closely. But I think the Freeze Mage has a pretty large upper hand in this matchup.
Yeah, I'd say so. There's a couple things that are keys to victory here for the Shaman. They have to pressure. The key to winning against Freeze Mage is that you have to put them in awkward spots. You can't let them play solitaire. You can't let them just draw a bunch of cards and then kill you without ever having to really interact with the board that much. Also, Brand plus Jinyu Water Speaker is a way to sort of stabilize and buy yourself an extra turn or two in order to piece together last-minute damage to kill your opponent before they kill you. So we did see them pitch away Brand. That's a nod to the pressure, but I actually have seen some teams or players in Hearthstone keep Brand against Freeze Mage specifically for those types of combos, for Jinyu Water Speaker to try and heal themselves back up post Alexstrasza.
No 2-mana draw from CompLexity available to them through Novice Engineers and Loot Hoarders. It's interesting to think about the use of the coin in this matchup. Without Antonidas in the decks of Freeze Mage anymore, it feels like the coin is a lot looser to use. It does feel like with Emperor in the hand, you want to also get a lot of that card draw, so coining out the Emperor that early might not actually be the best thing, depending on how the hand adapts. So, you know, CompLexity might be thinking about coining out something here.
Yeah.
Okay. Doomsayer is also a possibility, stopping a lot of the early game plays. You know, the thing about Acolyte is if your opponent denies the draws in the Acolyte, that's really big. So if they walk into Hex.
Or Devolve.
Or Devolve. Devolve is actually a really powerful card too.
That's actually, you know, one of the reasons why you want to try and get immediate value out of both Doomsayer and Acolyte of Pain, because you know if you try and combo Doomsayer later with a freeze, it's likely to get Hexed or Devolved, or if you play Acolyte of Pain without pinging it to draw a card immediately, again, it's likely to get Devolved or Hexed. So, especially considering you don't really have other threats in the deck that they'd want to use those cards on. Emperor Thorson and Alexstrasza, of course, need to be dealt with. But a lot of times you have stuff on the board to deal with those things, and you want to try and deal with things that are going to really put you in a rough spot rather than those.
Yep. So CompLexity actually has Ice Block in the hand, so they can even play that the next turn and then save Acolyte for pinging it. You know, one of the interesting things too is how much card draw Freeze Mage tries to balance, because there is such thing as drawing too many cards, and then if you burn a very crucial card like your Evolved Kobold, you could be in big trouble. So, you know, you have to really weigh that as CompLexity is going to be the one primarily making the big plays. They sometimes don't even care about how many cards your Shaman draws.
Yeah, a lot of times. But let's go and listen into CompLexity. Going to play the Acolyte of Pain on a naked board. Let's see what they're thinking about.
It's all about, it really is.
I just don't want to have double Acolyte on the board.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, if we go with Acolyte coin, we should get enough cycle this game, right?
Yeah.
We were thinking about last turn.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
Acolyte coin ping.
Yeah.
Yep.
The pain speak to me.
Good stuff, right?
Now they cannot.
So totem with the spell power,
Yeah,
then
just hero power first.
portal. Yeah. The worst one. Wait, maybe Hexen is... This one is fine.
Could actually be fine, yeah.
Yeah, maybe Hexen is fine. I mean, like, giving them 2 cards from the Acolyte.
The thing is, like, what do we do against their big threats?
Yeah, against big threats.
Only Emperor.
We have Lightning, yeah, Emperor and Alexstrasza, yeah, that's it. If they play Alexstrasza, then we basically lose. Against Alexstrasza, we still have Lightning Storm, yeah.
I like
Yeah.
Hex.
Yeah, I like
Okay.
Hex.
Feels bad, man.
Yeah, so CompLexity went for pretty aggressive draws, which ends up kind of backfiring here, specifically of what we're talking about. Freeze Mage is so draw dependent on ensuring that they are able to get enough fuel to end the game. And by not going for value draws and playing a little bit aggressive with it, they end up kind of putting themselves into a corner here, and they really need to now draw really well off the top of their deck. Hope that it hits Arcane Intellects or Knobs and Tools.
Yeah, Pit Snake makes their Emperor turn a little bit weird.
Yeah.
What?
Well,
what does that even mean?
Sorry, which
the
here?
poll.
Oh, Jaina versus Thrall.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Dan.
Yeah.
You are more versed in Twitch emotes than me.
I
would hope you would
be. Primary criteria for being hired. You have to respond only in emotes. Virtus.Pro has some of the threats that they've been looking for. They had very reactive hand for the longest time. Now they can actually start being proactive onto the board, and I wonder if they want to dig deeper into their deck, because Jade Chieftain isn't that powerful right now. It might be just a 1/1. If you play Azure Drake, you can start hero powering and actually make a case for Flametongue Tone to start being threatening. And you also have to wonder what's your opponent's best turn. If they're playing Emperor, what's the good follow-up to it? If you play Jade Chieftain, it actually trades really well into Emperor. Maybe not instead with the body. You have Flametongue and Jade Claws the following turn. It's definitely worth evaluating all the plays here. It's not as obvious as it might look.
Totem Golem picked up.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah. Totem Up would have, even though it's great because you start to get opportunities to get Flametongue rolling, I feel like Totem Golem ends up being really big here. But let's go and listen in now to CompLexity. We're starting to get to those turns with a lot of mana available. It's going to be tough. Let's listen in.
You like my invention.
Well, maybe we don't have to ping out for us now.
Otherwise, I would devolve it for sure.
But I mean, now the draw is not that important anymore. It's like we're getting in, right? So first of all, what we want to play, block is not necessary, right?
No, not right now.
I would just Arcane Intellect here probably. Then we can see.
Yeah, AI, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, now we
just play it.
Yeah.
Mind if I roll need?
I mean,
what's like hero power?
Yeah, don't like use of. No, maybe Flame Taunt is kind of okay-ish.
Why don't you like Flame Tongue? What's the problem with Flame Tongue?
Yeah, Portal first for sure.
No problem with it.
Yeah, Flame Taunt, yeah. Fine, yeah.
What do you play? Here power sync?
I think we'll have to play, I mean like Jade Claws. If they Doomsayer, Blizzard Doomsayer, how we will kill it?
I like hero power and thing.
I do like hero power. Does the totem do anything?
Yeah, if you get spell power, it does.
Yeah, we need to get spell power.
Yeah, but the Jade, if we play Jade Claws, then they grow. The Jades grow. I don't want to have 7 minutes.
We have 9 mana next turn anyways.
We're playing this, right?
Yeah, for sure. I like playing Jade Claws.
I like playing the totem. Because we have 9 mana. If we don't overload, we can go Jade Claws into Chieftain.
Okay.
Then I would just go Blizzard something.
Yeah, Blizzard loot holder, right?
Yeah, the only question is if the ping matters.
Hmm?
The only question is whether the ping matters more.
I wonder.
Probably we just go loot holder.
We also have like, what? How many freezes in there? 3? Yeah, let's go. Loot holder and Blizzard, right? Yeah.
Alright, so CompLexity did hit a couple of their other draw cards. You know, Arcane Intellect being huge, Novice Engineer, and the Loot Hoarders. But they still need a little bit more time, TJ. They have Ice Block and Emperor. They need to get those out before they can end the game guaranteed. Otherwise, they're going to have to be really scrappy. So they're really hoping that one of these next 2 cards is either Frost Nova or maybe another Blizzard, giving them the opportunity to stall Virtus.Pro even longer.
Yeah, their hand right now, they need a turn to develop Ice Block, they need a turn to develop Emperor, and they need a turn to play Alexstrasza. All those things need to happen while at the same time not dying to the pretty threatening board that Virtus.Pro is starting to build. So now if they can get all those pieces in, they're pretty much guaranteed a victory, because Virtus.Pro, even if they pick up Jinyu Water Speaker, it's not going to be enough, especially with Kobold and all those burn spells being reduced. They're very likely to have enough damage even through 1 Jinyu. They need either 2 Jinyus or a brand Jinyu.
So Virtus.Pro is looking for that or the spell damage to him. And it looks like they're going to go for the Jade Chieftain at this point. Trying to see if they can load up as much board pressure as possible. CompLexity draws a Roaring Torch. How much damage do they have right now with the Kobold and full damage? So, you know, because, like, say hypothetically they Emperor and Ice Blocked, how much damage would they have? They would have
25 plus a ping, 26.
17, yeah, plus 8, 25. 25, 26. You're right. Not enough, but very close. Very, very close.
And 2 Emperor ticks would allow them to play Alexstrasza as well.
Yeah, I mean, what if this draws Frostbolt? Then they can actually do it.
Is that a Frost Nova? If that's a Frost Nova, that's huge.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
That is big. And now Virtus.Pro has a guaranteed way to deal with this, but let's listen in. Looking like a rough situation.
I think that's game.
Probably just dead.
Alex, block.
Take the candle.
Yeah.
The mouse is so bad.
Kind of it.
So, yeah, sure, I know what we do now.
You know,
that Frost Nova pickup. Woo.
CompLexity actually ended up picking up Frostbolt, so they had the 30 damage kill anyways.
Yeah.
So say they had to play Ice Block and Emperor, they had the guaranteed 31 damage.
Yeah.
Pretty nuts.
Pretty nuts. They wouldn't have known that, but it probably would have been a last-ditch effort. Naaman's looking pretty stressed.
I mean, you lost an unfavorable matchup. It's what's supposed to happen on paper. Freeze Mage is really good against those board-centric Shaman decks because you give so much time for them to draw cards. It was a little unfortunate that they denied Acolytes, which could be a huge source of card draw, and then their opponents drew into more card draw. But that's just what the Freeze Mage deck does. It has so much stall and draw. Those are the 2 most represented cards types in their deck, aside from Burn. Virtus.Pro also does have answers to Freeze Mage. It's not like they don't have anything themselves. They could play Jade Druid in this position, and then Jade Druid still is one of the most versatile decks in the current meta, especially if you're playing a more tempo-oriented version.
So we'll see what they're going to go with here. They're deliberating. It looks like Virtus.Pro, they already made the player switch. They already had the deck in mind of what they wanted to play. When you get down to it, as the series progresses, you start to have less and less options, which means that you're pretty much tunneled into 1 or maybe 2 decks to try and go counter whatever your opponent just got the win with.
Yeah, well, these two teams have very similar classes remaining, except that CompLexity has Mage on top of, Druid and Warlock, and then of course Priest. So Dr. Hippie kind of contemplating what they should be doing next. I'm pretty sure that Druid's going to be coming out here. I'd be surprised if they picked Tempo Mage.
Tempo Mage does have a pretty good matchup, but
they need to save it for the other decks, such as Reno Warlock and even the Druid to a certain extent.
They could go the other way around. They could go Tempo Mage now and then Druid for the Warlock.
I actually hear a lot of sides of this debate too. Do you actually favor Tempo Mage against Freeze Mage?
I do.
You do? Okay, it's interesting. And I know a lot of Freeze Mage players are like, nah, I'm not that afraid of Tempo Mage. It's pretty much either their Mana Worm start or not. And even then, you have answers for it because you can Frostbolt it.
I think Flame Waker's the big one. Also Rag.
Oh, that's true. If the Tempo Mage runs Rag, that could be the case. I've heard arguments for both sides.
Yeah.
Whew. So now that you have Raven Idol, you can actually fill up your turn 1. You don't have to use coin into Jade Blossom because you can save coin for the Auctioneer, which helps you get draw. But at the same time, you get the Wild Growth Crystals. There's a lot of available options for Virtus.Pro.
I actually like saving the Raven Idol because you don't really know what you want yet now. Usually you want that Raven Idol as an extra chance to draw ramp. But right now, you don't really know exactly what you want. You may need that for an extra burn spell to pop the block the turn sooner. You may need it later on for heal, which is the normal choice. Like Feral Rage is almost an automatic pickup against Freeze Mage.
True.
So I actually, I think that going this route and then having the Raven Idol as a flex card, also potential draw from Gadget and Auctioneer, could end up being big.
It's true. There's two different ways that this matchup can end up going. One where Jade Druid ends up just pressuring Freeze Mage and just needs a little bit more damage from the hand, like you said, extra reach, another swipe, another Starfall, or Starfire, excuse me. Or sometimes they can go to, if like Freeze Mage is trying to remove things all, then they need to play the attrition game. Well, we'll see.
Let's go and take a listen into Virtus.Pro, see what kind of game plan they're trying to come up with here.
Like, there's going to be one. Good. I think we're idle here. Idle and heal power. Like if they go act like the...
Probably idle.
A spell, right?
Yeah, spell.
Orino.
Portal.
Portal good.
Yeah,
I think you go Portal.
Better than Jade.
I mean, it's 1-1 Jade. 2-2
Jade.
I mean, if they go Acolyte the next turn, we'll have to use Wrath. I think we can play Living Roots now. But if we take Jade Idol, do we play it now? Yeah, we play it now. We play Living Roots as 1-1.
I think I would pick Jade Idol.
Okay, yeah, just play it now.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah. And Living Roots into 1-1, right?
Yeah.
Oh wait, you don't really need to. No, because yeah, for 10-7 we're gonna have Auctioneer and yeah, Roots. No, the Acolyte's the worst one. They don't have it.
I don't know. Heal is nice though.
Why would you not know with Doomsail?
Yeah, we know it's Doomsail, right?
I hope you like my invention.
Man, we have so much cycle, holy moly.
Yeah.
Next turn is probably Acolyte Novice, right?
Yeah.
Falnos Fireball is actually good, we can handle a Rag with that.
So...
CompLexity hitting that card draw, hitting that cycle. That's one of the most important parts about the early game with the Freeze Mage. Virtus.Pro, their turns are starting to get a little bit weird. They had a good plan here, picking up the Jade Idol over the Moonglade portal. I mentioned earlier, Raven Idol a lot of times picking up heal can be one of the best things for you. But they want to get that ramp going. If they were able to land an Aya here, like if CompLexity were to develop a secret plus a Novice Engineer, it would have been huge. They're going to do it anyway just to get a minion on the board and start getting those Jades further up. Sort of a sacrifice they feel like they have to make.
Yeah, this is one of the downsides of the line that Virtus.Pro took. They didn't have a guaranteed 5-mana play. They didn't have Nourish, they didn't have Druid the Claw, they didn't have Azure Drake. And without that guarantee in your hand, they use the coin to ramp into nothing. Now, the chances are they end up drawing a playable card, either Jade Spirit, maybe even Innervate helps pick up the curve too, somewhere in the process. But then they end up Raven Idol anyways, and now they lost that ability for that coin to either coin Aya or coin Auctioneer Auctioneer using the coin to draw a card. So Virtus.Pro played the draw odds, but this is kind of the punish for that. They end up Raven Idol into a very weak turn, and now the Doomsayer activated, and their board's not nearly as strong.
Let the pain speak to me.
Plexi continuing to draw cards with Acolyte of Pain. Not really a chance for, well, there's a chance for overdraw, but a lot of times it's not really that big of a deal because you're having to expend resources. I suppose they could go with, like double Wrath for one, but putting Auctioneer on the board, even if you only draw one card, it's actually pretty good in this matchup because you force your opponents who may have had a plan to use Burn to deal with it, because you can't leave that up on the board for a turn, because that gets your opponents closer to Fail Rage, it gets them closer to getting a ton of Jades on the board.
Yeah, one Doomsayer has been used, so maybe you're not necessarily as afraid of Doomsayer now, because it's unlikely that they had the second one immediately. So they're going to value holding onto the Auctioneer. They are starting to get to the later stages of the game, so holding onto Auctioneer with a lot of cheap spells also has value, especially Wild Growth. It's 3 cards packed into one. And, Jade Idol's a 5/5.
Yeah, they are going to make him burn a card, but one card in the deck, there's a lot of cards that are hugely impactful. Let's listen to CompLexity, see how they feel about whatever card's going to go away.
Right, this was the... We have one more Jade.
So this is for sure a barrier?
My hand is too full.
Huh?
This is pretty much for sure a barrier turn.
We can't do anything if he has Rag, right? So you want to play Novice Barrier?
No, I want to play Novice. I want to play Barrier and block. I want to get the block out.
Yeah.
Just mana efficiency. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, now Prey, we don't have Rag, right?
I think only Rag, it's annoying now.
No, play now. No reason. He will cross now Doomsayer, will not go anyway.
How about Gatterson?
Gadgetion and Living Roots. I don't like Gadgetion and Living Roots because we missed one hero power.
But because they don't want to just deal with Gatterson now, that's like really bad for them.
It's only Frost now Doomsayer, right?
Yeah. Otherwise for Gatterson...
He can Frost now Doomsayer and lance it.
True. So we just Behemoth and hero power?
Yes. I like building for board though.
I think we played next turn though.
Yeah, the next turn probably, yeah. How much cards did they left? How much cards left for them?
13. They've drawn quite a lot.
Yeah.
No. Oh, you mean their face?
Yeah.
Wait, can we not barrier into double draw?
No. I mean, we can, but it's not good.
Can never barrier touch the face or what?
No.
Why not?
It's way too greedy, like.
Yeah, it's probably too
When are we playing Novus and Talmos then?
Probably with
Hmm.
So we have 9, 12. You go to 28, yeah, we are probably fine then. Yeah, so you want to play Fireball and Barrier, yeah, I can see it. Next turn you want to play Novice, Frost Nova Torch, or what?
Probably I want to play Thalnos towards their face.
And Frost Nova, yeah, I can see that.
Might also be a lane.
CompLexity trying to find a way to come up with a plan to win. The armor's starting to stack up. You even heard it in Virtus.Pro's communication that they didn't want to go with Gadgetzan because they miss a hero power. And armor is incredibly relevant in this matchup because it does give you that little bit of extra health post Alexstrasza. So fitting in hero powers definitely has its benefit, especially since they haven't been able to pick up a Feral Rage yet. And that's going to force CompLexity to really have to worry about that. They're talking about even just torching face now to get the Roaring Torch in their deck, since they have the Evolved Kobold, and to chip off some of that armor.
Yeah, and you know, I like this from Virtus.Pro. Garrison Auctioneer puts a lot of implicit pressure, or I mean, it's pressure itself. It's a 4/4 body, which does add the damage considerably. But it's also, you know, telling your opponents you can't just, you know, Frost Nova this board, because Auctioneer threatens to do a lot more than that. The problem is Virtus.Pro doesn't actually have any spells to follow up on it. So they're actually tossing the Thanos in here because they might need that to draw a card if their opponent plays something.
Or even just, you know, apply an extra layer of pressure, forcing maybe a ping out, making the turn awkward. Let's listen into CompLexity. Lots of options here.
I wonder.
I mean, it's too much, right? Too much.
Yeah. I think the Acolyte, they want to swipe maybe something, but I don't know. Can you not just play Acolyte, Novice, or Acolyte, Thalnos, Nova? You will get the
well.
Huh?
I can do that as well. The thing is, the Thalnos is, if they swipe, the Thalnos is like ping the Acolyte. It's not.
Yeah, yeah, but
it doesn't make any sense. It's better to ping it. You just get.
Makes sense for Rag or what? Oh.
They will also mode the Acolyte.
I will swipe the face. That's the difference.
Okay.
Let the pain speak to me.
That's the difference, right? I mean,
swipe face.
Yeah.
That's the one
Swipe
reason
face
I'll give
a bit.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, just nourish.
But without
without
Fendel.
without Fendel. You wanna get swipe. I think we'll mulch it with the Acolyte.
Mulch the Acolyte?
Yeah, and hit face with a hero power. Do you need to mulch it? And just to cycle, yeah, cycling. I mean, why don't you wanna mulch it?
Because we can mulch Emperor, because we don't have any answer to Emperor as such.
We have Fendel hero power to Emperor.
Yeah.
They have nothing to Doomsayer.
We have nothing for Doomsayer. What if we just Drake?
I mean, they
don't like Drake. I don't like giving them more cards. I like mulch and hero power face.
I think you mulch it.
Mulch?
Yeah, mulch and hero power face. Wait.
Only second Blizzard to punish, not second Thanos, right?
Yeah, but the second Blizzard we play drag, kind of gayish.
Novice? I mean, what are you hoping for?
Yeah, I'm thinking if Alex face is better, and just hope we get the second block. But I don't see it. I think we should go.
I hope you like my invention.
We ping the loot hoarder to get the Nova.
Yep.
Mind if I roll need?
Oh. Theoretically, this would work with the land. That right?
Yeah, I see. Yeah, but in theory, right? Yeah, it's just about not hitting.
Yeah, back and hero power. That's exactly doing everything.
What?
Back and hero power.
Just trade Rack and hero power.
Yeah. You can trade Talnos, doesn't matter.
Do we trade Talnos?
You can trade Talnos into 1/1. I mean, better yet, just use Talnos to kill it. To save them, they save HP.
Yeah, draw last.
Bunny and draw last.
Job done.
This is pretty much the end of the road for CompLexity's Freeze Mage. Not real Not a real way out of this. Even with the freeze, Ragnaros is still on the board. It's going to hit. They do draw a second Ice Block, but they haven't got Alexstrasza down. They haven't had Emperor down at all. Even if they survive another turn, they have no way of killing Virtus.Pro.
Is there any outs? Gotta think about any possible outs. Ice Block, of course, gives you another turn. If you Ice Block and you can't. All right, okay.
Nope.
What if you Blizzard and play Technician? Hope the Technician absorbs the damage from the Ragnaros. Your opponent can't deal 8 from hand.
Then your next turn is exactly the same as this turn.
Right, but that gives you the ability to play Ice Block plus Emperor, perhaps? Nah, there's really no odds. You got to figure out the line, and CompLexity doesn't even see a 1% chance to win the game. That wraps it up. So Jay Druid takes the win here, and now once again we are tied. No one-sided matches in Trinity, which is the way you want it. Now, Jay Druid does seem to be an interesting question here, because CompLexity has Druid, Warlock, and Priest remaining. And I've been hearing more and more arguments that Jay Druid is actually pretty decent against Priest, maybe even favored.
Admirable is probably the largest advocate.
That it's favored for Druid?
That it's favored for Druid.
If that's the case, then your best odds are a Druid Mirror. That sets the series into a very volatile spot where, you know, you don't necessarily have the distinct advantage. And maybe the Jay Druid can clean up the rest here. It certainly can. It can clean up the Reno Warlock from CompLexity. It can clean it. It definitely can beat the Priest, and it certainly can win the mirror match. Virtus.Pro might have found a small opening here to potentially run away with the series if they can get the next game win.
I still like the Priest. I know the matchup's pretty close, and there are a lot of advocates for Jay Druid being closer than people would have originally expected. I think a lot of times when you see Jay Druid win that matchup, it's because the Jay Druid played the matchup better. You have to know how to play it, and I think for Priest, how to play it is just being incredibly aggressive. Not really worrying about those small Jades too much. Going face instead of trading into small minions like Jade Spirit or the few Jade cards. So I think if you play the matchup how it's supposed to be played, if both sides play incredibly well, I think the Priest has a slight edge, and I think for that reason, we're going to see our CompLexity go with the Priest here.
Yeah, I mean, you know, definitely seems to be one of the more arguable points in the current metagame. Primarily because the deck list also varies so much. You know, how does Druid with Ragnaros deal with Dragon Priest versus others? You know, Dragon Priest only has so many ways to remove the Ragnaros or Big Jades if it gets to that point. You know, what if Druid starts off with all that early ramp? Are they all of a sudden, you know, too big to stop? Maybe that's the case. You know, how does the Priest list vary if it has, you know, Dragonfire Potion versus Holy Nova or both? I think it definitely plays with some of the percentages. I tend to lean more towards the Druid these days. The more I see Jay Druid being played, the more I think it's slightly edged over the Priest, and that's primarily because of how often they get ramp and how good they can play for tempo with things like Druid the Claw. Druid the Claw against Priest is so sick. Just you kind of forget about it because Druid the Claw has been rotated out in a lot of Druid lists for quite some time. You know, Malygos Druid didn't really play it for then, and then you know early J Druid list didn't really have Druid the Claw. But now that it's coming back, a 4/6 taunt, you know, how do you actually deal with that? It's out of range of Dragonfire Potion. It's a 4 attack minion, and you have to trade into it. And there's a lot of minions at 4th health yourself. So Talon Priest, Wyrmrest Agent trades really poorly into it. You innervate that bad boy out, Druid the Claw can wreak havoc.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that point. But now that these teams have Druid the Claw in their builds, Team Liquid was the team that had the Druid the Claw in their Druid list. Luminosity's not even running Jade Druid. They're running a Malygos Druid, which should have room for it anyway, but they're running, you know, very spell-heavy, very combo-centric version of it, so.
Admiral told me it's because Luminosity, well, specifically, he was just saying that Luminosity is not nearly as good at Jade Druid as they are at Malygos OTK Druid, which is a very interesting statement, because you know, a lot of people have the association that Jade Druid is a lot easier to play than
This is a bold statement, Dan, but Frozen was one of the best Malygos players in the world when Malygos Druid was really popular in the meta back, before Mean Streets of Gadgetzan last summer.
Love that deck.
Yeah, I love that deck. I love watching in tournaments as well. And now it sort of has a similar playstyle, even though the deck is different. Fundamentally, it's the same, and so they trust in Frozen, and he's actually bringing it to the championships next week. So we'll get to seeing more of it, and I'm not surprised that they went with it. But getting back into this series, CompLexity versus Virtus.Pro, the winner of this will face off against Luminosity in the finals, so maybe we'll get to see that later on today. But for now, we'll get into this one. Lots of expensive dragons picked up from the Netherspite Historian.
Yeah, well, Volcanic Dragon's deceptively expensive. The idea is that you're picking trays and then you're able to drop Volcanic Drake. It's very powerful against Shaman and Paladin, primarily because of how easy it is for them to generate small minions. It's definitely not nearly as good against Druid, because outside their small little tokens of 1/1s through Living Roots or the Jade's Idols, or Jade Golems, excuse me, there's not really much to value trade as time goes on.
Sure, yeah.
So Deathwing Dragonlord's being picked up, and I think that's primarily due to the fact that CompLexity just wants to get onto the board early, and then if they lose control of it, the Dragonlord can help them get back, and Druid has really poor spot removal, so that's probably their way to fight back against the Jades.
All right, well, not much ramp for Virtus.Pro early on, so turns are getting tough. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
Yeah.
We could just Wrath now.
What do you want to Wrath?
I don't like Wrath. 1/3 is just not worth it.
Because I'm scared of the 3 mana 3/4.
3 mana 3/4 on 1/3, that's totally fine. If they buff
you
some
have nothing to Wrath.
No, but then if they just put a 3/4 on board, we can just like innervate Coin Auctioneer.
I like playing Nourish because we have a lot of 6
I
drops.
play Wrath, I don't know.
I wanna play Wrath.
Wrath is just so bad.
Why do you want to play Wrath?
Because to cycle. I wanna go Nourish for mana.
Why? Why
do you wanna kill
you
1/3?
You have coin for cycle. It's the same, but 0 mana.
Killing 1/3 with the Wrath.
And now you can go for Auctioneer maybe.
It's difficult. I like playing.
Can't go for. Yeah, you can.
What happens if we just play Auctioneer here?
Yeah, just
you
go
can
for
go for Auctioneer and then Nourish into maybe even Naturalize.
But we don't have mana for Nourish next turn.
Oh, I mean, Raven into Mulch or Naturalize to kill Big Brown. Something went wrong.
Yeah.
Wait.
I'm not sure, but I will play with this.
But what other play is there?
Nourish for mana. Yeah.
We can go Nourish for mana and then Hero Power or something.
You can just go
I would
coin,
go for Auctioneer.
coin swipe.
Coin swipe.
Then we never play Auctioneer. Because I will play turn 5.
YOLO?
Yeah, do it.
What if you get innervate from Raven Idol?
Use it.
Can we not just play the Talon Priest and bump?
Ooh, do you want to bump it?
I mean, what does he want to do here? Can we talk about that? Mulch?
Yeah, maybe mulch.
I don't even know if it's something specific. I think it's just an early 4/4 is nasty, right? It even threatens the trade.
They don't have a Zodric here.
No, if he played a 4/6, he just mulches and trades. You just play the Talon Priest and trade, right?
Yeah. Do we trade so?
I mean, we should, yeah, of course. Otherwise, they just mulch it and trade. Yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah.
You wish to live forever.
Nice that we got to that conclusion.
Yeah. I mean, if they draw.
A little bit of funny discussion there by CompLexity, but their reasoning is pretty sound. Virtus.Pro, they need something impactful from this Raven Idol, or the risk that they took with the Gadget Auctioneer coming out. Innervate.
Innervate's really good.
They can innervate into Nourish, and they can go for crystals and pick up another spell potentially. They could go for card draw as well, but I feel like with this heavy of a hand, crystals is.
Well, let's think for a second. Let's think. So, what can you draw off that swipe? You can actually draw Living Roots. They do play Living Roots. That is something that is a possibility for them. They can also draw another Innervate. So there's at least 2 cards. We don't know if they play 2 Living Roots. If so, that's 3 cards out of the 21 or so.
Oh wow!
And you also guarantee a removal on Bran, which is kind of cool.
Waits for no one.
It's the thing about the Nourish for Crystals is that it's not like you're hurting for a play next turn. You still have Jade Spirit, which kind of ramps your Jades.
It's just a 1/1 now, though.
It's a 1/1, but you gotta get it started somehow.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. Bran is also very threatening going into turn 5 because you risk giving them 2 cards with Draconid Operative.
Yeah.
Now their hand, though, is starting to get even
Very
heavier.
Very clunky.
The Jade Spirit this turn, they roll into probably Aya in the following turn. But then when do these Nourishes come into play?
Well, I don't think they will for a while because you don't necessarily need them. I think the king and the most important priority from this point forward is how the board ends up looking. If Virtus.Pro chooses the crystals here, they actually can squeeze in a Feral Spirit, but it doesn't seem to even impact the board. They're actually pretty fortunate that so CompLexity is that they didn't play like Draconid Operative, because if they did, they actually can crystals and Feral Rage it down.
Yeah.
But then the opposite side of it is that if they played Operative, they have a much bigger board and can answer anything, and then Virtus.Pro falls too far behind.
Yeah.
And it seems like a lot of people would prefer to Nourish for cards. But the problem is that you have so much cards already that I think the big limiting factor is actually getting them out of your hand.
And that's why they do go for the crystals here. Twitch chat, you voted for crystals, you win. Absolutely nothing. Let's go and listen to CompLexity.
They win pride, TJ.
They win pride, that's right. Let's hear from CompLexity.
Yep. The thing. But, I mean...
What Bookworm gives us is if he plays Rag, we can play Vermur's Agent and Death.
Exactly, that's one thing. Like, it's more mana efficient to do it.
And more health, yeah. Yeah, I think it's also the Bookworm.
I think it's the Bookworm.
Yep.
Let reading drag lie.
Yeah, I guess they're ragging here. I mean, it makes sense, right?
Could just have... Yeah. I don't know, they have so many cards, like Nourishing for mana just makes sense, I think. If they do play Rag, then please go face.
Oh yeah, that would be our...
Yeah.
Much better. That's a really great tablet.
Job done.
Next turn you can go Elephant. The next turn we're probably going for Federal.
Virtus.Pro starting to ramp up their Jades.
It's very late in the game, though.
Yeah, and CompLexity can get some value from Dragonfire Potion here if they trade in the 3/3. Could sweep up the whole board. They don't have anything to follow it up with. Do they feel like 2 3/6s on the board is enough to keep the pressure on? A lot to think about here. Their trades outside of that aren't that great. I mean, they could just start playing the pressure route. Just play Draconid Operative, Wormrest Agent, and then start hitting the face. That's also an option. And they see Rag from Draconid
and Mulch.
And Mulch. Not only does that give them the info that there's no Rag or Mulch in the hand, but those are all great pickups considering Virtus.Pro's deck is filled with Jade's cards, which aren't necessarily the greatest for Priest because they don't really have those synergies.
Well, they kind of knew Mulch wasn't in the hand because they saw Auctioneer not really convert off that 4-mana turn to the
Sure, yeah.
However, you know, the big question is, can Virtus.Pro even win back the board? And it doesn't seem like right now they can. They can control a little bit through Fandral, Nourish, Feral Rage. Doesn't seem like anything beyond that, though. And if that's all you're doing, you might as well just play Jade Behemoth, right? Because Jade Behemoth helps you do almost the same thing.
4/4 Jade, that's when it starts to get threatening.
But your opponent has Ragnaros to follow it up. This is going to be pretty tough. And you know, one of the big X factors in Priest in general these days is Operative. It's part of the reason why it gets pushed over the edge in a lot of matchups in their favor, because the body is so resilient and the effect of discovering is so strong. Not just because of the card value you get, but also because you get so much information. You can see what your opponents can do. For example, they see that their opponent doesn't have Mulch, and you know and if you pick Ragnaros, how did the Druid kill it?
Yeah,
they don't have Mulch.
Apparently, Virtus.Pro has just turned into Dr. Hippie.
Yeah, we're trying to shield the eyes of our underage viewers so that way they can't see the destruction and devastation that's about to happen. Actually, hold on. Maybe. Oh, is it Dragonfire Potion instead?
Dragonfire Potion
instead of Ragnaros, because you can't actually.
You push 5 more damage.
Get through.
Well, they can Shadow Word Paint you. There's not really many Shadow Word Paint targets left in the deck. Fandral and second Jade Behemoth comes to mind.
I actually like that a lot. I like Dragonfire Potion and Shadow Word Paint because the Jades from this point on are only going to get deathed.
Yeah,
and Shadow Word Paint targets there, and you get to push 8 to the face with Ragnaros to back it up. It's pretty close because Ragnaros itself is really strong, but I like this a lot. All right, well, Virtus.Pro has to nourish into Fandral into a miracle. Most likely, Fandral nourished into Concede. Azure Drake is a possibility as well, but it doesn't seem like you can pick up anything special.
Yeah. Mulch might give them some hope.
It still technically keeps them alive. Ooh, Feral Rage, also useful. But we know that CompLexity has a chance to win the game straight up at this point.
Yeah, there's no guarantee.
Damage off.
Yeah. I mean, they might even think about not going for the toss here.
I'd just go for it.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, you just hit Fandral and you have a Ragnaros that can't get answered.
Yeah. I preached earlier, you got to be aggressive in this matchup, and going for the win with Ragnaros is definitely plays into that plan.
Yeah, I think you're right. The Virtus.Pro doesn't seem like they have Druid the Claw on their list. We haven't seen it across 2 games, and they've drawn a considerable amount in both. And without those, you're going to be struggling a lot because they have Living Roots and some of this lower curve to handle any aggressive starts and to get that big Auctioneer turns off.
I concede.
And that's going to wrap it up. CompLexity goes up 4-3. 2 games away from guaranteeing themselves a spot in the Grand Finals.
Yeah, but the series is very close. The counter matchups have pretty much gone the way that we expected to. CompLexity lost the first game, but were able to win 2 in a row with the Shaman, which sort of puts them at that counter Q edge. Now Virtus.Pro is going to have to find a way to deal with Priest. They still have Warlock left in their lineup, so it shouldn't be too difficult for them. I mean, the way this is going, I sense this is going to go to a game 11, and CompLexity's had a few close calls, specifically against Team Liquid on day 1. We'll see if this one's going to be sort of that same story.
Yeah, so I think if Virtus.Pro actually shouldn't be sweating that much. They counter Q into CompLexity's Dragon Priest with Reno Warlock. Let's say they kill that Priest, then CompLexity has to use Druid against Warlock. Let's say CompLexity wins. Then they have Tempo Mage against Druid and Reno Lock remaining. That's a spot where I think the Tempo Mage is actually happy. Those are 2 classes that they don't mind playing against. Because Jade Druid can be very slow if they don't hit the early game ramp, or they don't get into the board fast, or not even have the right removal at the right time. Say they have Living Roots and there's a Flame Waker on board, or Wrath and then Water Elementals already there and just hitting face. Tempo Mage can get out such a fast start that it can give Druid so many fits. So as much as Virtus.Pro is definitely in a big disadvantage overall for being on the back foot for counter queuing, it seems like they still have an out here. Tempo Mage, as long as they get this Reno Warlock win, still has an opportunity and a window to win the series for them. Yeah,
it's going to involve taking a win in a very even or potentially even unfavored matchup, though. So that's going to be the big deal for them. CompLexity was able to do it with Shaman. Virtus.Pro is going to have to do it with either the Warlock or the Mage, but specifically the Warlock is going to have to come out on top here. They lose this matchup, which we've seen is definitely a possibility. It's a realistic possibility. Priest has, I believe it's even now. I think it's 2-2. But we've seen 4 matchups between Dragon Priest and Reno Warlock, and it's gone even across the grand finals here.
I do want to point out something in the very beginning stages of that game too, is the fact that foundationally the Druid versus Priest, that actually was a completely different game than what I kind of anticipated. I thought that they would nerf for crystals really early because of how important it is to stack your mana advantage. Because that's, while Nourish is a tempo loss in the very beginning, you gain it back very fast because you get 2 crystals per turn. for the rest of the game until you hit 10 mana, and then from that point on, you're able to leverage it. And look how they drew. They drew so many 4, 5, 6s. If they were able to get that out much faster, who knows? It could have been a completely different game.
All right, let's get into it. Game number 8 here, CompLexity versus Virtus.Pro. This is the lower bracket finals. If you're just joining us, the winner of this match faces off against Luminosity this afternoon to decide the Trinity Series champion.
All right, well, Virtus.Pro has the Mountain Giant, which is very problematic for Priest unless they have Shadow or Death. And I don't think you keep Death because Mountain Giant's a 1-of, and generally the Reno Warlocks don't play 5-attack minions early on. So that's definitely a safe keep. I think Reno Jackson's a keep in case your opponent just gets the ideal curve from 1 to 5. Dark Peddler is interesting, to say the least. I've seen a lot of Reno Warlocks say, I don't even want to see Peddler until late stages of the game because they don't know if they need it or not. Virtus.Pro saying, I don't know if we want to spend our first few turns just tapping and passing. Maybe Dark Peddler is important to keep because you do need to play a minion if you're on the coin and you have Mountain Giant, because you can't just life tap 2 turns, otherwise you overdraw.
Yeah, it does delay Mountain Giant. Even though you're replacing the Dark Peddler card, you're not gaining an extra card by spending that 2 mana life tapping. So it is a little bit of an interesting keep. They just want it in case things go awry and they need to try and pick up Soulfire, Power Realm, and Corruption. One of those key 1-mana spells.
Corruption's actually not bad against Dragon Priest. Pretty good. Dark Peddler is really weak on this board specifically because of the interaction with the Northshire Cleric. CompLexity is going to pick up the Dragon Operative. Very powerful. Probably one of the most important cards in this matchup. Just for the body and also because it gives you so many tools and reach to end the game. But yeah, this is the position that the reason why they kept the Dark Peddler. They don't need it though because they got second-rate Bruiser. A very powerful card.
Second-rate Bruiser into Mountain Giant into Shambler. Seems great on papers if your opponent's not really interacting with it. CompLexity does have the double Wormrest Agent here, but it doesn't really match up well against the board. And the one thing to note is going into turn 5, they have Draconid Operative, but not another dragon to activate it. So you really want to keep up that pressure while also getting the value that Draconid Operative provides. But you really don't want to play it without a dragon because that you sort of need value to win this matchup. Yeah, you can get all the early pressure you want, but eventually you're going to need some cards. And because of that, CompLexity is going to try and draw, not play double Wormrest Agent, just go for the 1. And Brand is the pickup.
All right, well, Virtus.Pro coming up on a pretty important turn because, it's Mountain Giant or Facial Shambler, and both have arguments. Let's go ahead and listen in as they prepare for this very crucial turn number 4.
Quickly. Are you mocking me?
As I can heal and Shadow of Death. Kill Shadow of Death, but yeah, still not getting that much tempo. I mean, like, we're not getting damaged. I mean, I'm just scared of minions more. They don't have Shadow of Death, that's just awesome.
Shadow Flame and Twisted Nether and basically GG.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Yeah, we can't deal with Emperor anyways. But the 2/4 might get us a lot of damage in. They also kept 3 cards, so...
On the other hand, like, cards, it's not that bad, right, to get
You
cards.
want to try out value them?
We're not gonna rush them down, so but we have to find some middle ground, I guess.
Yeah, I think we should heal the Cleric as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, just Death. If he plays Emperor, I mean, what do we do? Dragonfire Potion?
Yeah, but we gave ourselves a chance to get Corruptor here, right? Like, better chance.
Yeah.
Now, harder. I think we know Sylvanas works.
Yeah, it's better than post.
Yeah.
And if they ignore it, we can just Shambler it.
They will ignore it, probably. Like, Corruptor is bad. And wasting shadows, the second Shadow of Death, probably not worth it.
What can they do against Sylvanas?
Yeah, against Sylvanas, what do? They can't really...
Ignore it?
They will probably ignore it. We're gonna play
but
the
ignoring
Shambler
Sylvanas is also not that good.
Yeah. We're gonna kill Checkmate and play Shambler and Peddler.
You can find Little.
So Virtus.Pro sets up Sylvanas, very problematic card for just a priest to deal with without Entomb in their deck. And yeah, Virtus.Pro called it, saying they're going to ignore it. Now, how much punish can Sylvanas generate right now, if any? Doesn't look like too much.
They could Shambler it to try and protect it from trades.
Yeah, which is probably the best, because if you protect Sylvanas from trades, then your opponent still has to play around it, or at least clear the board. And with dragons onto the board now, your opponent, if they use Dragonfire Potion, is still going to get inefficiency and fall behind on tempo. Because if you play Faceless Shambler, you can still clear the board, but it's going to be a lot more annoying. You have to trade and everything.
Their other play is to just get Bran out there on the board, and maybe try and get Peddler value the following turn, or pick up Kazakis. Really the only two cards that do much with Bran.
Yeah, well, what they can do is they can actually trade into the Drake and kind of force CompLexity to giving them a minion as well. I think they're playing Shambler for sure. I think they're evaluating how they trade. So at this point, you know, forcing CompLexity into an awkward spot. So now that they picked up Nether Spite Historian, I don't think that helps them that much. God, do you just use Dragonfire Potion because Sylvanas is so annoying? You can't, right?
You can try and reset in the next turn. Bran Operative is a potential, which is a huge turn. But you give the Warlock full initiative. Is there anything that they're going to play on turn 7 that's really going to, you know, interrupt your game plan here? They're, you know, turn 7 play for Warlock usually Abyssal Enforcer, where they're playing a 6-drop, or they're tapping and playing like Twilight Drake. So,
all right, hear me out. What if you heal this Sylvanas, so that way you can play like a mediocre minion like Wormrest Agent and Nether Spite, and then fill out the curve that way? Okay, they're going to go for double Nether Spite instead. Instantly locks the Operative. I think that works too, but you know, you're hoping that your opponent doesn't steal the Bran, and with Abyssal Enforcer in the hand, that's going to be pretty nasty. Actually, hold on. Wormrest Agent complicates that.
Yeah, Wormrest Agent complicates things, and just 5 health Northshire Cleric and a 4 health Bran make things a little bit interesting. Emperor picked up from Virtus.Pro, yeah.
Bran.
Let's go and listen in.
Yeah. Just play Sylvanas into 3-4. Yeah, I like Sylvanas into 3-4.
We don't care about the rest of the board even, do we?
Yeah, we just need to kill Bran. Probably just play the Emperor.
Yeah, okay. Just bump Sylvanas, yeah.
No dragons on board. We are fine. No dragons on board.
Well, kill Bran, play Emperor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can go Bran to Peddler when
yeah, just go.
We cannot get anything out of Draconet. It's so bad, so...
Yeah, we have to do it so, right?
Yeah. Crane?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we ever take the cut? No, we just play the 2-3 right after.
Yeah, we play 2-3 for sure because of the Corruptor. We want to get the value in.
Well, Virtus.Pro actually picks up the final piece of their combo.
Yeah, so they got 20 damage right now, and Abyssal Forcer can push out 3 plus the 6 on the body. I think Virtus.Pro is also weighing the option of Bran Dark Peddler, because they did aim for that the previous turn. So, or they're talking about that the previous turn, so that way they can maybe even get another Power Overwhelming, or even Soulfire to help extend the range to 24. Abyssal Forcer seems really clean, though.
And they're just going to go for it now and look for it. Right. Soulfire or Power Overwhelming would extend that. They do pick up Soulfire.
That is 10 mana total, though. So they have 20 next turn.
24 the following turn. But if these minions stick on the board, that's enough.
Yeah, if these minions stick, that is lethal. So they're setting up a very subtle 2-turn lethal, but, you know, CompLexity knows that Virtus.Pro has combo.
Yeah.
And with 3 cards discovered, none of them combo pieces, they have to be even more worried.
Refreshment Vendor would save them, but
what about Doomsayer and Shadow Word Pain? Is that too optimistic?
Doomsayer and Shadow Word Pain also does save them, but their Doomsayer dies just about everything. It does save them some life. I believe they're at 27. So yeah, they'd be 1 off with combo, and 1 mana off being able to use Soulfire as well.
Yeah, the only way that would be lethal is if Virtus.Pro discounted all 3 cards, Faceless Manipulator, Leroy, and Power Overwhelming, and picked up an additional damage from Peddler, whether Soulfire, Power Overwhelming, or Elven Archer, Patches,
Elven Archer,
Stone Tuskboar.
Yeah.
Okay, this heals a little bit more and better board presence. So Virtus.Pro is getting close, but no cigar. But I mean, Ragnaros is a pretty big minion if it hits face or hits minions. I don't think you're necessarily complaining that much.
Yeah, if they can really just hit face and rag if they feel the need to. Kazakus picked up. That's Brand Kazakus, but I still think rag is slated. They've seen a Shadow or Death already. They're actually going to make some trades.
Yeah, just in case it hits. They actually kind of want to hit face because their opponent will have to spend the turn removing, and that's just less mana for them to put multiple taunts in the way and remove your board because they need to do it all. CompLexity needs to remove the minions, heal up, or taunt, and it's tricky to try to fit all that in with just 10 mana for the Dragon Priest because they already used 1 Shadow Word Death.
So it looks like unless this Draconid operative picks up something
Shadow Flame
that I'm not thinking about. Even Shadow Flame.
Oh, right, because they'd be dead to just
wouldn't stop them. They'd still be dead to combo. Now, they don't know that, but Shadow Bolt, Mind Control Tech, only 3 minions on the board, and Lord Jaraxxus.
Yeah, so Shadow Bolt lets them play Shadow Word Pain, remove everything except the Ragnaros, and just let Ragnaros live and try to survive by going wider, but we know that this is probably the end.
Yeah, let's go and listen to CompLexity, hear what they're debating about.
Bolt does never work. I think empty tech, yeah, makes sense, right?
Yeah, it gives us a chance.
Now we just corrupt her.
Yeah.
And we hit face.
Yeah.
Yeah, because our fancy tech.
Combo kills anyways.
Virtus.Pro takes the win. I think that might be the first full combo Arena Warlock win we've seen so far in the Trinity Finals. It's been some scrappy games from Arena Warlock, but that one seemed pretty straightforward, showcasing one of the other ways that Virtus.Pro, or sorry, that Arena Warlock can defeat the Dragon Priest.
Yeah, and that was, you know, again, a very crucial win for Virtus.Pro. We've been talking about how, you know, some of these games are pretty pivotal, but if it comes down to it, you really want to win the really most important matches towards the end of the series because, like we said, if CompLexity queues up the Druid, which we feel like is going to be happening here, then we still have Virtus.Pro with Tempo Mage against Druid and Arena Warlock remaining, and that's probably their best chances available.
Yeah.
Very, you know, candidly speaking. I don't think they had very much of a chance if it was Freeze Mage, for example, and J Druid comes out here and just sweeps everything else.
Yep.
Or if they're playing Reno Mage, J Druid would clean up both of those. So this is kind of why it's important that they brought the Tempo Mage because it was able to bring such a different take. They're the only team to do it for the finals.
Yeah, all the rest of them brought Freeze Mage with Team Liquid being like an anti-aggro. Reno Mage didn't quite work out for him.
Anti-aggro Reno Mage?
Sure.
Like Inca Master Solia and Antonitis.
Yeah. But maybe we'll make them answer for their crimes because Admirable's standing by with the Liquid Boys.
That's right, Trinity tonight, and I'm joined here by Team Liquid. Dan pretty much set it up for us there. Pirate Warrior. How good is Pirate Warrior, guys?
It's all right. It's okay.
It's okay, yeah.
Just okay?
Yeah.
It feels pretty good.
Like 4 win okay.
Yeah, 4 win okay.
Yeah.
That's not too bad. That's only 67% at the end of the day. That's not too much. I want to start a little bit about talking about some of the topics we were talking about. Dog, you actually mentioned to me that you used to be an athlete when you were younger.
Yeah, I played tennis a lot. I was a super champ in the 12s to 14 bracket.
Just beating up on the kids.
Yeah, it was
I played
fun.
tennis too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
For how long?
3 years.
Were you a super champ?
They don't have that.
We don't have that. Yeah. I just played it quite good.
What do they have over there? Do you have any other hidden talents or anything like that?
I have a talent.
What is it?
I have a lot of talents.
Show me.
I can stare at your soul. And the soul of the viewers too.
We'll see it.
I felt chills come over my spine with the cold stare. And Joe, we all know that you're quite the barber.
Yeah, definitely. I can see it. I cut my own hair.
I think you have a real future there. Can you cut mine before I head off to
Of course. How do you want it?
Just razor all the way.
All right.
Just
we
straight down
can do that.
to the scalp. How have you guys been enjoying the series so far? I mean, this one now it's we're 8 games in. It feels like it's pretty back and forth, but Shaman has been performing super strong, and we've seen Dragon Priest looking like it's going to get there quite often, not always having the gas. In the Jade Druid game with the Auctioneer on turn 3, a lot of stuff happening. What have been your highlights so far, Dog?
Of this series?
Yeah.
The Mage versus Druid game was interesting. I just disagreed with a lot of the plays, and I like that because there's like a lot of people talking about it and a lot of controversy of what you should do and what you shouldn't do in the matchup. And I just like discussion with that, especially when like all the pros are sitting around. It's pretty cool.
Nairia, what's really stood out to you?
I always like watching Freeze Mage games. That's because I play Freeze Mage in the next weekend, and I kind of like all the decisions and discuss about it.
Did you like the build they're coming with, or?
It's pretty standard build. There is not much room to make for the Freeze Mage. Probably like barrier. The second barrier is a flexible spot sometimes, but yeah.
What about you, Sho? What have you liked so far?
I like to see Dragon Priest versus Warlock because Warlock is supposed to win, but lately, or in Trinity and on ladder, I feel like Dragon Priest has been crushing Warlock for some reason.
Losing like all the Priest matchups with Warlock.
It feels like that's been the case too. Like I keep watching the Priest just get on board and start attacking, and just the damage piles up, and suddenly with Reno Warlock, you look down at the game, I'm at 12.
Yeah.
I'm gonna die.
On ladder, it's like people with Priest, they like try to play around things and they like, try to get value from their heal. But in reality, you just need to like hit the face. That's why in ladder, like when you play Warlock against Priest, it feels so easy. But in tournaments, like SM Orc is always the right play. With Priest versus Warlock, right? You just like want to reduce their life total so they don't have as many options and they can't do as many things, right? They can't life tap for more cards. They're under clock, they're under pressure, they need to use their cards inefficiently and things like that.
Yeah, face is the place indeed, and the place we're headed right now is back over TJ and Den to actually bring you game number 9.
That's right. Thanks very much, Admirable. Always good to hear from Team Liquid. We talked a lot about their innovation yesterday, their different strategy, but at the end of the day, they're still just pretty cool guys.
Yep, pretty sweet indeed, and thank you to Team Liquid for showing up. They were eliminated yesterday in 4th place. The meme lives on. And they didn't have to show up, but they chose to anyways to hang out. Plus, there's computers here. So with fast internet access.
Very fast internet.
Yeah, they couldn't resist the bait. We're like, hey, if you come up and do an interview, you
free
can
food,
free catering, and fast internet on computers. To them, they can't really hold back. Game number 9 coming up with Jade Druid most likely going to be counter-queuing the Arena Warlock from Virtus.Pro. If you're just joining us, Virtus.Pro started off with a very ballsy Hunter pick. We actually have never seen anything like that in Trinity Series. And they completely called out CompLexity's Paladin, getting the win. But then CompLexity struck back with 2 Shaman wins, and since then it's been trade. Win for win. And no class has really been able to get rolling. Maybe that's all CompLexity needed. They just needed to get 2 Shaman wins, and then they'd be able to win the series from that point on. But I'm still feeling Virtus.Pro overall in the series. Not to mention that combo version of Reno Warlock actually does hold a competitive win rate against Jade Druid. I still don't think it's favored, but it certainly has a fighting chance.
Yeah, fighting chance is a good way to put it. And we'll have to see. Even if Virtus.Pro does end up losing this matchup, they still have Temple Mage. It's going to have to win 2 in a row, but the matchups it has remaining are pretty good for a Temple Mage. So don't call anybody out of this series yet because it's been heating up for a while. It's now tied 4-4, and I'd like to see a game 11. We'll see. It's the final day. It would be fitting. I love game 11s.
What you doing with that bow and arrow, TJ? What you doing with that?
I'm sneaking.
Be careful where you aim that thing. You almost got in my eye. Well, Jade Idol and Wild Growth, that is exactly what Complexity is looking for. That is not a slow start at all. They double ramped here. At this point, we consider Jade Idol just a ramp card on turn 1, primarily because shuffling it is just such adverse effects. The challenge is if Complexity can keep it up, because if they draw more Innervates, more Wild Growths, more Feral Rages, they're actually going to be really hurting for follow-up plays, because they had to play a naked Vandal. They want to keep up the tempo.
Powerwhelming Possessed Villager. Probably the choice between these two here. Powerwhelming, it's really hard to pass up. Let's go and listen into Complexity. Vandal's an option here.
Jade Behemoth ain't bad either.
Yeah, let's take a listen in.
Yeah, maybe PO, using PO.
You like using PO now?
I mean, we have PO and Faceless Shambler, that's the worst part. Maybe we can play in Gambos.
But
now.
what if you'll not... I mean, if you'll not
I think they have 2 cards. I mean,
can do?
they kept Innervate, and it should be, yeah, I mean, they didn't have Wild Growth in their setting here, so it's probably Jade Blossom, right? Yeah, they should go Jade Blossom now. I think going with Secondary Bruiser and PO is fine.
I would go with PO, yeah.
Secondary Bruiser and PO, but maybe Imgam Boss is also okay. We can play the Secondary Bruiser probably.
I would like to play the PO with the Shambler, maybe.
Yeah, but we're not gonna get such chance. Like the way I think we have to kill.
Then we can play it.
Yeah.
Why don't we just play Imgang Boss now?
I like playing Imgam Boss because yeah, I'm pretty sure that they kept Jade Blossom.
No, you play the Bruiser. If you go with PO, then you go with Bruiser. Go with Bruiser. Bruiser.
I mean, I kind of like Imgam Boss more. Because yeah, they kept Jade Blossom, first card.
But you can play Bruiser next turn. That's the thing.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, they play Jade Blossom, right. Okay, the card they kept the Jade Blossom.
You can play Jade Blossom this turn. Why not? Bad.
So in Gambos,
yeah, in Gambos
for sure.
Well, Jade Behemoth, really good turn here, but the thing for Complexity is they just don't have much reload. They pick up an Innervate, no card draw, little ramp. There's not much else going for them. They're going to have to put a lot of faith in these minions that they have on the board because this may be all they have to work with for a few turns.
Yeah, you know, Virtus.Pro putting a lot of stock in reading that Complexity has a Jade Blossom, but that's just not the case right now. And it's a fair read because Complexity did keep a lot of the cards early on with the Wild Growth, or so they kept cards and then drew Wild Growth, so they feel like maybe they had a better alternative play, and has been holding a passive card that they haven't pushed out really fast. So it's a fair assessment. It just happens to not be that case. It was a little funny to us. Who's like, no, trust me, he has the Jade Blossom.
Jade Blossom. Keep with Jade Blossom.
Close, bro.
Vandal.
I mean, Vandral's holding, you know, something that's blooming, so something like that, but not quite. Virtus.Pro picks up Kazak as one of the most powerful cards in this matchup, and they have Bran as well, so they might be contemplating keeping that. It's unfortunate that Demon Wrath isn't that good right here. Is this a point where they play a really low-value Shambler, or they even just play Kazakis?
Kazak is going to be it.
Oof. 4 damage AoE does allow them to deal with a follow-up Gadget Stand if it's on turn 6. Or sorry, beyond turn 6, where your opponent can play like Living Roots and Innervate.
Oh, we'll take a look at the potion in a second, if we can, but I think it was 4 damage AoE, summon a 5/5.
Looked like it. That is, at least on paper, the best.
Yeah. There it is.
Okay.
It's a pretty good 5-mana potion, if you ask me.
Yeah, and they have reasonable value, you know, assuming that their opponent just flatlines. If their opponent just trades and sets himself up for, you know, Demon Wrath and something else, or Hellfire the next turn, maybe that's an opportunity for them to even take it slower. But it seems like CompLexity is just going to take it very slow. Not even innervate anything out right now because they don't want to overextend.
All right, well, let's take a listen into Virtus.Pro. Lots of options this turn. Let's see how they're thinking through it.
Torison just dies to 3-2 and 1-1. 3-1 and 2-1.
What was Sylvanas?
Sylvanas, they're just gonna go face. That's it.
We can.
Yeah, and then you play the Potion.
Potion or Demon Wrath.
Yeah, and that's really good. If they play another minion,
It's
we're
the best
like.
turn to play Sylvanas.
Yeah, I mean the only thing that they can do is like bump the 3/6 and the 2/1. But then at least we get rid of board.
And we have Emperor and empty board.
Why?
Yeah, I think so.
How about playing the potion now?
Not very good now, is it?
No.
It just gets better.
But why do you need Bran?
We don't need Bran.
I mean, like Demon Wrath and Bran. That's also okay-ish. They need to hit Bran and they need to hero power.
Yeah, but
and we
you
can play the tap potion the next turn.
I like Sylvanas.
I would play Sylvanas as well.
I have no time.
I kind of like Demon Wrath
Like
more.
they kind of just have to bump the 3/6 in and the 2/1, which is not very good for us. But like depends on what else they play.
This is so frustrating.
What to do?
Can we just go face?
I think I would just go all face, hero power face, and pass.
Yeah, probably right. I like this.
Man, I wish these like these swords were just a little better.
I mean, we just blanked 4 turns in a row. I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, we have double Nourishment, we have double Drake, Wraths even, I mean, double Raven Idol. Yeah, something.
Ah, yeah.
We actually put double Raven Idol in the deck just because of this.
It's just the worst to draw, sure. What can you
I think we can keep the potion, yeah, just no reason to play it right now.
So many possibilities.
Yeah, maybe we have to.
Demon Wrath and Faceless Emperor, I think is the one play.
Looks like.
Maybe not attack with the Sylvanas. That's actually an idea. Or just play Temper Bran.
You play Shambar. I'm not sure about attack.
Yeah, I'm not sure about attacking. Maybe we shouldn't attack. But they can just Wrath, but they haven't used any Wraths. Yeah, I think this one is more safe since we are at 9 HP.
Sure.
Ooh. Wow. Wow. If they didn't trade... Oh, actually, they could have mulched. They could have mulched Innervate Agnaros.
Oh, they could do that. Put him at 1.
Yeah. So, in the end, the Sylvanas trade was correct.
Yes.
And... doesn't look like CompLexity has a way to around that, and they play around. They play into, you know, Reno Jackson first of all, or they play into removal. Because if they mulch, Innervate Ragnaros, and their opponents say Siphon Souls, then they're just stuck top decking for a win.
They do a Fandral, so a lot of draws in their deck become better. Nourish becomes better because you have more mana to work with to use the cards you draw.
They also don't know a Kazakus Potion.
They don't know the Kazakus Potion.
So it could be just polymorph and gain armor, and in the worst case scenario, could be just straight up going wide on the board and polymorph. Well, there's a lot of possibilities here. It's like they're gonna mulch. Also, don't forget the mulch minion, and wonder if that's gonna be an MVP. But one thing is for certain, Virtus.Pro does not have any life gain right now.
None whatsoever.
They can't even tap for it. Void Crusher can remove Rag, but not in that way.
They're dead.
Yeah, they're dead.
They're very dead.
Wow.
And despite the rough draw from CompLexity early on, they're able to put under the pressure.
Barely. They are so relieved because they knew that was all they had. Unless they drew Nourish or Azure Drake, they were in a tough spot. And with that kind of upset, that would have been massive for Virtus.Pro. And here we go. We're going into where the rubber meets the road. Can Virtus.Pro, down to their last deck, Tempo Mage, be able to take back the series?
Virtus.Pro has had a lot of success with Mage throughout the course of the Trinity Series. So if they were going to choose a deck to be their sort of their last life here, Mage would probably be at the top of the list for them.
Yeah, we've had a handful of sweeps at the Trinity Series since we are playing last year's standing. One of them was anything Paladin, another one was Warlock. We've had Rogue sweeps.
And then
we have two Tempo Mage sweeps. One by, I believe, Frozen on Luminosity, and one by Dr. Hippie on Virtus.Pro. So it is one of their most impactful classes just based off the statistics. And now Bunny Hopper is the last line of defense. You'll have Dr. Hippie and Naaman guiding them. It's looking grim, though. I guess percentage-wise, even if you're 60-40 odds to win the next two games, you're still unfavored overall in the set.
Yes. That's a big thing to note here. CompLexity has a little bit of wiggle room.
Yeah. Not to mention that I think Jade Druid... Put that thing down, TJ, before you hurt somebody. One thing is that Jade Druid is still pretty good at fighting back against some of those aggressive strats. You might feel like Jade Druid's very slow, but a lot of them have, for the most part, gravitated away from just full-out greed. You know, double auctioneer builds, for example. Some even cut, you know, the top end of Ancient Awards because they just want to play so tempo-oriented that they're not going to be focusing on that late game. They're just trying to get that Jades, and if they need the infinite Jade train, they can always fall back to that. But most likely not. Virtus.Pro is on the coin, very important. But do they have anything besides that? They need a fast start. Oh, wow. Actually, I take that back. They are playing the greedy version. They're Sylvanas.
They're a very greedy version.
Oh, my
Auctioneer,
goodness.
Sylvanas, and Rag.
I misremembered.
That's a Mana Worm.
It's a Mana Worm that has follow-up. It has Mana Worm, which Frostbolt removes anything challenging it, and then it has Water Elemental with Fireball removing anything that challenges it. This could be a fast game if Druid's passing the first couple turns.
Yeah, now one thing to note is that a lot of times Druid doesn't play too many early minions. A lot of it's like really small Jades, but let's go and listen into CompLexity. It's a rough early hand. Let's see how they want to handle it.
Go in and can make everything bigger.
Next in coin, Water Rally.
If they Jade Blossom, then yeah, missiles and hero power.
Why not coin Water Rally?
Because we want to kill the one more drop.
Drake.
Interesting.
Double missiles. We have 6, we have 7. Need to hit 4 times. Or just
Why?
one Fireball.
Coin Fireball, isn't that better?
I mean, if we hit...
Because the missiles are more flexible with the other cards that we have in our deck.
Yeah,
right?
true.
With the Flame Wakers, they're a lot more flexible.
I wonder.
So like, yeah,
Fireball it.
Yeah, Fireball.
What's the chances with missiles?
Yeah, the missiles, the percentage, yeah, is gonna be 7.
We need 3 times.
4 times.
3 times.
Yeah, I mean like with the pink, yeah. No, yeah, 3 times. Just, yeah, less than 50.
It's just 1 extra damage.
Oh yeah, it's actually, yeah, around 50.
I think it's double rough. Can also be bad. I think it's double rough. We take too much damage, right?
Yeah, but it's not just one Wrath.
They want to play Water Elemental next turn, right? Probably.
I don't know. I don't think it's ever one rough. I mean, can do it, sure.
No, I think we take too much damage then.
No. I mean 1 Wrath for 3.
Oh.
And then hero power.
Mm-hmm.
Get an extra health as well. We don't cycle, but do we need to cycle? That's the question, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking with this hand. Like a Wrath is the most, it's like the cheapest removal, right? I think it's kind of nice to have a Wrath.
Yeah, I can see that. We also get 1 armor, but I like 1 Ross actually.
1 Wrath?
Yep.
Playing also very aggressive, right?
Yep.
Also, we have Sylvanas, so we want to get some
Like
time.
we will not get out of cards so easily with turn.
That's a great point, Mr. Yagut. A pretty heavy hand as far as the Sylvanas and Auctioneer are concerned. Auctioneer can help them reload. And saving life is important. A lot of times Tempo Mage will eventually get their board removed, but they finish the game with burn. So every point of health matters in the grand scheme of things. Moonglade Portal.
Living
Or
Roots is
Living Roots,
also
yeah.
kind of appealing as well, because if they had Living Roots, they actually could just straight up remove the Water Elemental right now. And that's the name of the game. Prior to this meta with the Mean Streets of Gadgets and expansion, there was a theory that one of the primary ways to beat a Tempo Mage is to just remove all their minions, because with straight up damage and burn, they can't actually win the game. They only have 2 Frostballs, 2 Fireballs, and Firelance Portals. You should be safe.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's still a tall order, because that's not always the case. You know, sometimes they get a little bit of damage here and there. They have arcane missiles as well. Not a bad outcome at all. Being able to draw cards is pretty important with a hand as awkward as Virtus.Pro. They just need that. They just need that Flame Waker. In fact, they might not even use missiles in this position because they want to save it for that.
Yeah, with a few draws going in the next turn, they have a better chance of picking it up.
So Moonlight Portal is an interesting pickup, but they also have Swipe available to this turn for a full clear. Sylvanas and just accepting the damage that comes in. I guess because they have Moonglade Portal, they feel a lot more confident. And Sylvanas, this is the only time that you can get it. This is the fastest on board.
That's a lot of damage.
It is.
But could be kind of risky with Sylvanas on the board. Let's listen to Virtus.Pro, see how they want to sequence this.
Yeah, no face.
If it's double hit Sylvanas.
Yeah, then we have a problem.
It's okay. He'll still only 1 minion from.
Yeah, 1
4.
million. Flame Waker, yeah.
I'll show you about Talons, maybe.
Double missiles?
Talons, I don't know, yeah, you play Talons, I think. I think you play Talons.
Yeah, Talons just more minions on the board, yeah. Do we trade with the Elemental? And do we trade with Sylvanas now?
So bad if they swipe.
If he's still Flame Waker.
I think we go with Elemental to the face and trade Barnes.
Yeah, I was also trade with Barnes to Spirit.
Barnes into Spirit
Like
and
this?
Elemental Phase.
Why
No,
not?
Elemental Phase.
Elemental Phase.
It has 6 HP.
This is super bad to swipe now.
How is it bad to swipe?
They just swipe this and then they steal the
Still what?
elemental.
Elemental is fine, we're gonna Portal Phase.
So we can take either the Flame Waker, or we can take either the Flame Waker, or we can take the 3/5. We can take a 2/3 Flame Waker or a 3/5 Elemental, right? With the swipe.
What do we swipe?
It depends what we want to take. I mean, you can swipe the bonds and then you can trade into. I guess no, actually you can't take the Flame Waker then. I would take the 3/5.
I would take the Flame Waker.
Okay. Do
because
it.
we also idle
yeah.
it.
Okay, do it.
You swipe the here.
Yeah.
Time waits for no one.
Right.
Yeah.
And here idle and hero power, right?
Yeah.
And also Wild Growth if you want to. Probably not, right? We have
No.
Yeah, just hero power.
That's a hard one now.
Portal Flamewaker.
Yeah, maybe Portal and Flamewaker is better.
Next turn Drake, Manivir.
Yeah.
Cells.
I like that.
But we can Portal face.
I think I like Portal this one more.
Portal, yeah. Flamewaker, I think.
Doomguard, Leroy. Okay, also good. So we have 10. Yeah.
Please don't have Rag.
Oh, the Fandral pickup allows them to cleanly deal with this Halazeel while also preserving their state of the board. They have Moonblade Portal to stabilize. Virtus.Pro needs some pretty big pickups.
Yeah, or maybe just a lot of running damage. They did use one of the fireballs earlier.
And a Frostbolt as well. So
Yeah,
they have a Fire Lens Portal, no fireballs left in the deck, and one Frostbolt left in the deck.
They could pick up Arcane Blast. That'd be really powerful. CompLexity's weighing the options here of how they want to utilize their mana for the next couple turns. They have Innervate, which is really powerful with Auctioneer. But they only have 9 mana available, unless they Wild Growth now, and Wild Growth gives them 12, so they can Auctioneer, Innervate, Moonglade Portal. They skip out on the Wild Growth value, but you don't get the ability to use your crystals optimally the next turn. That's also not a bad draw at all. Now you can Mana Worm, Arcane Intellect, and then Fireball the Fandral.
Yeah, and you still have pick up extra cards to Arcane Intellect, also have Reload with Azure Drake for the following turn. You are trying to run out of burn, but if they had Azure Drake,
Are they running out of burn? Are they?
I guess with Rag, not really.
That one.
Running out of burn spells.
Also, let's also not forget that Moonglade Portal has a huge amount of range that can hit anywhere from, Cairn and Aya to a big-time Racketeer and Corrupted Seer. Both are very weak minions. Aya's very strong and tempting, but you also see a Mana Worm. You did see double Fireball, though, so it seems like the burn range is a lot lower.
Yeah, but if they have cheap spells plus Flame Waker, all of a sudden you have a chance to lose the game.
But you have so many stats on the board.
That's true.
How big is the Aya Black Ball? 3/3? 4/4?
It is.
I think it's a 3/3 because the 2/2 trade into the.
Oh yeah, 2/2. Yeah, it'll be a 3/3.
So you have 10 health on the board. So Flame Waker is definitely a lot weaker, and they've already used 1. It also happens to be better against Ragnaros. Azure Drake and Arcane Blast seems kind of appealing in this position. Not to mention, you still can squeeze in Arcane Missiles for a very fortunate outcome of hitting 2 of those minions. Hitting a minion twice and pinging.
Especially with the Fire Lens Portal picked up, that's a lot of extra damage that they're going to be looking at. I don't think Arcane Missiles is going to find another use unless Flame Waker's exactly their next draw. If they hit this twice, they get it.
Wow. Exactly what they want, except for the last hit. Doesn't really matter, though. They still got that damage. And they also can get lucky with Ragnaros, in their mind. CompLexity, of course, going to heal with the Moonglade Portal.
Looking for me carried treasure?
Reasonable outcome.
Is that the Lucky Do Buccaneer? The rogue card that gets +3/+3, or +4/+4 if you have a +3 attack. I don't know. It's just a wild guess. Because I didn't recognize that card for a while.
Oh. I remember.
I did play Arena.
I remember in our Arena battle.
I know.
You did play Lucky Do Buccaneer. I saw your face.
The reason I unfollowed you on Twitter, TJ.
We'll tell that story afterwards. Let's go ahead and listen into Virtus.Pro.
That's right.
Okay, yeah.
Just play rock.
The 4/4 and just kill face.
Missed Arcane Blast Little Fight.
You have to play Rag, right?
Yeah. Sure.
Let's just win the 50-50.
And the game probably and the series. Man, why is it never? We never get lucky.
Yeah.
Ping, and then Portal Face, right?
Yep.
Good boy, Rag. Wow. I'm not convinced we played this perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah, a stark contrast of reactions. JJ's actually still ranting about it to decide about what just happened. And of course, Virtus.Pro kind of stoic in their response, even looking over towards CompLexity to see if they could catch any salt.
See their reactions, yeah. Bunny Hopper, we've heard him many times throughout the past couple of days comment on the reactions of the other team. He's really trying to gauge the reactions. That's why we put these guys within proximity to each other. They can't look over at their opponents.
Yeah, JJ, of course.
Seething.
Seething, to say the least. Furious.
Yeah.
TJ, the tendies are hitting the floor. It's at this point, it's game number 11, and now all down to this final match. Tempo Mage versus Reno Warlock, which I gotta say, I'm leaning towards Virtus.Pro. All of a sudden, the odds from this point forward tend to favor Virtus.Pro, and I'm a little bit scared for CompLexity.
Yeah, let us know in Twitch chat, guys, who's going to win. What do you guys think, CompLexity or Virtus.Pro?
Woo. Winner moves on to the grand finals to play Luminosity. Excuse me. Luminosity is chilling. They are online, browsing social media, playing Hearthstone, eating the catering, putting up their feet on the tables, which they probably shouldn't do that.
Because people eat on those tables.
Respect the property, please, in the studio. CompLexity and Virtus.Pro. I mean, even the chat's kind of split here, but I think they're slightly leaning towards Virtus.Pro because of the Tempo Mage advantage. It's not necessarily about what the teams have in terms of how they're playing. I think they're both playing around the same level. Definitely, as they said, not perfect, but good enough to at least put themselves in the win in a favorable win position.
Yes.
It's kind of hard to always play completely perfect. You see that these guys are trying to hand read. Sometimes their hand reads are completely off. But if you're playing at least well enough, you're making sure you're not messing up your lines.
Yes.
To the point where you're completely throwing away any advantage in the matchup. Some people, when they don't really understand the matchups that well, they're throwing away their win conditions unnecessarily. It seems like they're at least on point for that.
Yeah. Played the deck in the past. Dr. Trippy has a lot of experience with it, even bringing in his World Championship lineup for last year. They trust in him. Even though it's Bunny Hopper piloting, he's got two guys that have a ton of experience along with him. So let's get into it. Game number 11. Dan mentioned it. Winner moves in the grand finals. Also secures themselves at least $15,000 extra for their team in prize money. That's $5,000 per player by winning this match.
So we mentioned that Tempo Mage is favored in this matchup, but look at the hand from CompLexity. They've got early game plays like Sunfury Protector and Imking Boss. Both effective at trading, and Imgang Boss is great at absorbing Flamewaker hits. And then they have Reno Jackson in case it ends up getting to a tough spot. So Virtus.Pro, not having a Mana Worm is problematic. The nice caveat, though, is that they do end up having the coin and an extra card, which is very valuable, too, for them.
Yeah, CompLexity has Imking Boss, one of the toughest cards traditionally for Tempo Mage to deal with. It was, one of the reasons why Zoo Warlock, when it was popular, was so good against Tempo Mage, because once Flame Cannon rotated out, there was no clean way to deal with it. But let's go and listen into Virtus.Pro. Got to plan your turns ahead from this point. Let's hear what they want to do.
Someday I'll be just like you.
What do we do if they go Imking Boss now?
Probably Flamewaker. No,
I'll
wait.
go Flamewaker.
That's the key play. Probably just Fireball.
Fireball?
But we can go to Acolyte.
If you go Acolyte.
They just we get punished by what? Hellfire is kind of bad, but
No,
we have
Hellfire is fine for us.
So do you like playing Acolyte?
We play Acolyte next turn, we can play Flamewaker coin, missiles.
Yeah, I like it. Right?
And then we Fireball it.
What if we Fireball? Can't we then go Flamewaker, coin, Forgotten Torch, Arcane Missiles next turn?
If they have Mortal Coil, it's gonna be so bad.
Yeah, if they have Mortal Coil, it's bad, but if they don't have Mortal Coil, it's really good, right?
And we
Imgang Boss punishes
we go first with our Sorcerer.
I mean, our Sorcerer, yeah.
We go first with Sorcerer.
Imgang Boss
If you
punishes the
Fireball.
Sorcerer, but we get the Acolyte.
Yeah,
the Acolyte
why
punishes
don't
the
we
Imgang
Fireball and go face with the Sorcerers?
I like playing the Acolyte here because, like, how do you get punished? By Shadow Bolt and by Hellfire. They still trade with Imgang Boss, and we get the Flamewaker. Like the Acolyte.
I would Fireball, I think. They need to deal with Sorcerer.
That's super fine.
Trade coil and then just man.
Yeah, trade coil, yeah.
Yep, agree. I would probably still brand.
I would brand.
I would also brand, yeah.
Yeah. They kind of have to kill it now, and then we trade break into Sylvanas.
I mean, they fireballed the Bang Boss, it's very good for us.
Yep. Cure, coin, Frostbolt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Try the coin first. Maybe we're gonna go with missiles.
We could go Frostbolt ping. That's bad, right?
Let's go with the coin first.
I serve the Fire Lord.
Yeah, Frostbolt.
No way.
Job's done.
Oh yeah, oh, finally.
Yeah, that's Drake.
Yeah. Hey, the stupid Flamewaker. Hey, yeah, 413. Hey, boy, finally, yeah. And the luck finally turned around, eh? Oh.
It's not done yet.
Yeah, but yeah, this is so
important.
Like 413 and we have Sunfire on.
Yeah. Here, take your Flamewaker, you stupid tempo mage.
Stupid coin. Oh,
Yeah.
Coin.
Yeah, elemental engine.
Yeah.
Just Sylvanas?
I don't know. Is it? Why? Shouldn't we just value the tapping at this point way more? So we always outvalue them? I mean, if you play Sylvanas, they can't drop Emperor, right?
How with Sylvanas?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we also have the Jiraxxus, which will, yeah.
But you also have to see that it's tempo, right? We at some point, this also disappears, right?
Yeah,
They play all the cycle crap.
Yeah.
At some point when they want to cycle, we have this stuff, right? It's
Yeah.
too slow. But like, we gotta play aggressive to the board against that deck. They have the cycle to sustain along.
I love when we listen into Complexity. JJ is going crazy and Mr. Yagooch is giggling in the background.
It's like a witch cackling in the night. Having watched an extensive amount of Power Rangers recently, I just get to hear, finally, the luck has turned around. Time for you to lose, Virtus punks. Well, Complexity at this point doesn't really have much to worry about because they got Reno Jackson. So no matter how deep they go into the pool, as long as they don't drown, they'll be okay. They always have that lifeboat to bail them out. They're choosing the Kazakus at this point because that's how comfortable they are.
Armor is another pickup, even more life gain.
Yeah, armor's like even better. You know, at this point, the number one thing that they're worried about is the top end for Virtus.Pro because they know they can deal with the early game threats very reasonably. They got Hellfire and they got Blast Crystal Potion, and Blast Crystal Potion deals with Ragnaros. But what if they have Antonidas range? You know, so they can't get too complacent just yet. We've seen Tempo Mages pull it out, or we've also seen some people play pretty greedy. I mean, they have seen one Fireball, but that doesn't mean that Tempo Mage is incapable of bursting them. Look at that. Look at this. Complexity's getting aggressive.
Yes.
They're going face.
All right, let's go and listen into Virtus.Pro. Things seem to be going wrong for them. Let's see how their spirits are.
Dalnas, Torch Face, Pink Acolyte, and bump into the break.
Is that better than Firelance Face?
Better than Firelance Face, that's for sure. Or, what else can we do?
We need to Firelance Face.
Why Firelance Face?
Instead of Bleed.
Because he plays Jiraxxus. 9.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the coin.
Yeah, it's 8 mana next turn.
How about Dallas?
I think we can play Firelance Box or something else.
Yeah, I like Dallas, Storage, and maybe Arcane Blast the Kazakus.
Isn't better Firelance Face? Isn't better chance to win?
Just have Fireball out.
Yeah, the Fireball, but this way we just, we're gonna have 2 draws.
I like this.
Yeah,
do
play
it.
it.
That's it.
I just start out with Reno here.
We can also just
I'll play
tap.
Peddler. No, we should play Peddler, just play in.
Huh?
We should just play Peddler and go.
Why?
It's just more stats. We don't
Yeah.
need tap. It's tempo, tempo, tempo. We
Yeah.
we
Yeah, I
trust
agree.
them now.
I agree.
Trust them. Trust it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's over. Hey. Coil, right?
The coil every time.
And do we even double trade? Can we not just ever pass?
I would double trade. This one.
Is it good to double trade? I mean,
Then we don't get Savannah's value.
yeah, I would maybe.
Why not? Oh, they.
I mean, we literally just push 2 or 3 more damage.
Yeah. Okay. I can see it. We
Yeah?
hold. Yeah, we hold.
Yeah.
I'm just so excited to go face.
Yeah, I'm just done with this.
I mean, it's true. I like also keeping. I like also.
Kill that,
Yeah.
free Sylvanas. I think it's the only play.
We hunger for vengeance.
Do we have to free Sylvanas?
Yeah.
Why? There
Probably
world
no.
in
Let's
which
go
we
face.
just go face.
Yeah. Yeah, just go face.
That's a decent draw.
We can steal this, right? Trade. Then we can like bump.
And then heal.
Yeah.
But do we want to steal it? Yeah, just.
I think we should do it, right?
Yeah,
and
do.
even Shadow Bolt this for 4 damage to face. We should do that, right?
Yeah,
Shadow Bolt.
I agree.
Yep.
We should. Will you tap? Or no, Mortal Coil.
That's right.
Yeah, do this and trade the both dudes.
Yeah, what do we want? Do we want to deny this?
Wait. Let's just heal the Sylvanas up again, right? It's better.
Yeah, actually, I like to play.
Yeah, I mean.
We should coil here then, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's way better.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Wait. This goes there, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, this goes there.
You can tap.
Yeah, tap. Heal the Sylvanas. Trade into the Acolyte with the 2-3.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's the best play.
Yeah, you're right. We don't need to take anything, yeah.
Alright, CompLexity just a turn or 2 away from securing the victory because they've got follow-up damage in their hand. And it looks like Virtus.Pro might be out of luck on this one. They can still stall for time, though. They can fireball defensively. You know, an Emperor does make me think that if they pair it with the Antonius, they would, in some kind of world, have a chance. But that requires their opponent to draw super dead.
Yeah, they are going to clear some damage off the board, so they won't be staring at lethal this turn unless CompLexity were to pick up some extra damage. They currently have 14, I believe, unless the Kazaka's potion was damaged, but I don't think it was.
Right. If it was deal 5 damage, yeah, that would be lethal.
It's polymorph a random enemy minion and gain 7 armor is their potion.
Yeah, seems reasonable, and they can follow it with a Faceless Shambler and just kind of push and then put Virtus.Pro in check. And Virtus.Pro has no Flame Strike, I think, in their deck. And even if they did, they would have to require Arcane Missiles to land perfectly. Oh, I guess, yeah, I thought they were going to kill off the 1/1. I don't think there's much incentive to do it. It does make you better against Flame Strike.
Yeah, so it looks like this might be the end of the road for Virtus.Pro. It's CompLexity just closing in on a victory.
Yeah, now, I don't think we've seen, you know, Babbling Books or Cabala's Tomes yet. And I don't know if Firelance Portal can help save the day.
Yeah.
I think they'll calculate
Validated
their odds.
Doomsayer is not quite the same as a Doomsayer.
It's really not. And they'll try. Firelance Portal out for a taunt. No, doesn't look like it.
Doesn't even have his partner in crime, his ready sir.
Squire.
Feels bad.
I know. 1 damage off lethal for CompLexity. They're going to search for a card to immediately win the game and join Luminosity in the finals.
I don't even know if they have a card in their deck that deals extra damage. They don't. We've kind of ruled out combo.
Oh, right.
I thought we ruled out combo from CompLexity's version. Just got a Blast Crystal Potion. I mean, why not? They have Siphon Soul for another big threat. And with Lethal staring at him on the board, I don't see a way Virtus.Pro can get through this. Should be a tap out. Unless they just want to try and stay in the spotlight. One more card, but that's it. Virtus.Pro falls. CompLexity moves on to face Luminosity in the grand finals. Came down to the wire, but they were able to finish it off.
All right, so CompLexity comes in here as one of the highest seeded teams. I think they were number 2. And they were definitely a team to watch out for, even going into the season. People were seeing JJ's amazing performance last year. You know, starting at the very end of 2015, he won a tournament, doing very well all of 2016. And now that Mr. Yagut's focusing more on competitive too, and Crane, of course, qualified for a championship for HCT. It's definitely a fearsome team, but there's just no slouches. You know, Virtus.Pro finishing 3rd, a very good result in a very cutthroat field of 8, and I'm sure we haven't seen the last of them. Yeah. They finished in 3rd place with $15,000. CompLexity guaranteeing themselves $30,000, as well as a chance to fight for $75K.
Yeah, and the Shaman ends up being sort of the MVP for CompLexity here. It did come down to it.
Yeah,
this is one of those matches where it did come down to counterplay, and the team that takes 2 wins in a row, it wins an unfavorable matchup, was able to get the edge at the end. Now, it did come down to an unfavorable matchup for them, sort of. You know, Tempo Mage being against the Reno Warlock, but they had their Reno in the opening hand, and from there, it's just trying to piece together the rest of the pieces. But it ends up being a lot easier than if you don't.
Yeah, and I think that game kind of goes to show you that a lot of those early game decisions, while it might seem relatively straightforward, like, okay, well, we have a Fireball, it's just Fireball, it's Imp Gang boss. You know, Dr. Hippie and Naaman were originally debating a line with Acolyte of Pain because you can play a little bit slower against the Reno Warlock. It's just, you know, generally it is better to play fast because you can kill him quick before the Reno. But sometimes you can also play a little bit slower and try to gather a big combo and then try to use your range to always threaten them. If you have 1 or 2 minions on the board and you're always threatening Fireball, it makes them in a weird position where they want to Reno at 17 health, for example, instead of like the 6. So, you know, this is one of those positions where they had to choose one path or the other, weigh the odds, and they end up going with a gut reaction saying, you know what, Fireball just feels better. But in the end, they could have played that game differently. And I think there were so many instances of that in this series. You can't point to one game and just say they messed up here, that's why they lost. It was definitely a lot of factors going into it, which is why I think this best of 11 is so interesting, because there's so many ways it could have deviated from the path.
Yeah. Shout out to Imp Gang Boss being a huge minion in that series for winning the game. But
one last month, TJ.
One last month. But here we go. Here's the bracket for the entire tournament. Looking at Luminosity's run, they've had 2 6-4s making it through to the finals. So they've had a little bit less close series. They've looked like the strongest team so far. CompLexity, they've played a lot of Hearthstone over the past couple days. 3 series so far, 2 that went the entire distance, that came down to the last game, and even in the last game, looked pretty close, at least in their first series versus Team Liquid. So now the finals is set, and we'll have to see as both these guys, they sort of have similar styles. Super JJ feels like he fits Luminosity's mold a little bit more, but definitely a lot of players with personality. But we do have Admirable, who's standing by with some words with the winners of that last game is CompLexity.
That's right, Trinity tonight, and I'm here with Team CompLexity, victorious 6 games to 5 once again. It's been tight the entire time. Guys, talk to me about this match. Key moments that came up, and game number 11 again. What were the big points in this series for you guys?
Flamebaker, Bran, Twilight Drake.
Yeah.
GG.
There were a lot of coin flips. Especially, I got kind of triggered by the 1 out of 3 in the first game when they got tougher. Like, if that wouldn't happen, we would have won it for sure. Yeah. And yeah, there were a lot of coin flips.
Yeah, the rack. Oh, man.
Yeah,
why didn't the rack kill the rack? Come on.
It's pretty rough. I don't know. You just can't win more than 6-5 every time.
We got lucky in the last one with the.
We got lucky in the last one, like very lucky.
And that was enough.
But 6-5 is still a win. Doesn't matter how you pick up the win at this point. All that matters is the win itself. And so now in the grand finals, you guys are going to play against Luminosity. Have you had any time to think about ways to go back and look at that match, or do you feel you're super confident in the way that it went before, it just didn't quite go your way?
Oh yeah, just didn't go our way.
Very confident. I think that was, obviously we don't know 100% how he played this one because we haven't went back and watched it, but how he played against Luminosity was a big up for me from day one. It's really good.
And then final question, now that you're in the finals, what's this game count? JJ, what do you think it's going to be?
Whatever, let's just play.
Just the win. Yagut?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, Crane?
6-5 for us, of course.
6-5 for CompLexity is Crane's call. We need to give these guys some time to rest. They just played a 3-hour match, and they potentially have another one coming up here again. So we're going to give them some time to rest. In the meantime, enjoy a video put together by Trollin, some of the best moments that have happened in Trinity Series.